I don't trust your opinion though. Because here's what I think: you have to wait 3 years to find out what happened to Chief. Like, dude,
I was like 9 years old. That was my own little 9/11. Like, what do you mean this game ends on a cliffhanger? You can't do this to me. The Covenant are there, but have no reason to actually be there. Chief goes like, I thought the Covenant was like not a thing anymore. And they're just like, oh wait, it must be a slop action, whatever. Like, they just hand wave it.
Welcome to the Save Scum podcast. It's a retro gaming podcast, and today we're talking about Halo Combat Evolved, which was released in 2001 for the Xbox console. This was a Sneed Cola pick. What we do on this podcast is we replay old games with a group of friends, relive the nostalgia of the game a bit, and also analyze that games with a critical lens. First off, I just want to start with, did you guys know that Bungie, with only 40 developers, made this game in 9 months? Did y'all know that?
I didn't know the team size, but I knew the time frame, yeah.
Yeah, I knew it was small. Wasn't this game also initially supposed to be something else, and then they basically pivoted it into Halo?
Yeah, it started as an RTS. It started as a real-time strategy game, and then it became a third-person game. And then Microsoft came in and was like, make it a first-person game, which is like the only W Microsoft has ever done, ever.
Now they've made it a third-person game again.
Yeah, and now it's a third-person game. But yeah, so they made this game in 9 months. It was released with single-player, co-op, and online multiplayer, all on one disc. Meanwhile, Halo Infinite costs $40 million to make and only released with a campaign. So make that make sense, guys. But I have a slide here just that kind of captured my thoughts on it. Like, you've got Bungie in 2001 along the top here, just absolute chads. And then you've got Halo Studios 2026 down here, just, you know, microwaving breast milk like fucking retards. So, boys, before we get into the real Halo CE, Halo Combat Evolved, we should probably talk about Campaign Evolved. So, what are y'all's thoughts on Campaign Evolved from watching the chatter on the internet right now?
Well, I mean, it's everything I think we thought it was going to be. I mean, 343, or do we have to call them Halo Studios now? Like, I don't fuck that. Yeah, it's like X and Twitter. Like, I still say Twitter. Who cares?
Yeah.
343 was going to butcher it, of course, because it's just kind of what they do. And they've already done that once with the Halo Combat Evolved anniversary, which, funny enough, we should mention, you know, we've been using like our own like gameplay footage, namely Trice's gameplay footage for these like podcasts. Mm-hmm. But this time we're not. Trice, you want to tell us why?
Because I played Anniversary. I'd never played it. I realized about a third of the way through I was playing with the Anniversary graphics. I was like, this doesn't look right. I kept telling myself. And I hadn't played the game in 15 years. And then I was like, oh, I get it. I'm actually using the Anniversary graphics, which, they're not great. They're okay. They're really not very good, though.
It feels like decoration. It feels like everything just has like completely pointless decoration on it, and it looks worse to me.
I will say this: the game still plays mostly the same. The only thing I did notice in the Anniversary Edition is that for some reason I found it harder to hit headshots with the Anniversary graphics. Now that might just be my old hands, but it felt different. I felt like I was seeing the heads in the reticle differently. And
it's
maybe
probably because the updated the models but didn't update the hitboxes.
That would make sense. And that would be the feeling I had when I was playing. But
Anniversary, like, it butchers all the Forerunner architecture drastically, which also the new Campaign Evolved did. It also completely destroyed the atmosphere and like the flood levels. Any semblance of darkness was gone. Any semblance of, you know, an ancient civilization was gone.
Way too bright.
But yeah, I just thought that was funny. I just wanted to add that.
Yeah, well, you know,
when you were editing in Discord last night and you screen shared, I was like, this is Anniversary.
Yeah, I had
didn't you say, Steve? Didn't you say like a Jeet Studio made it? Like, do you know who made the Anniversary Edition?
Oh, I don't know. Was it not 343? I think there was.
They
these
clearly
days
I thought
there's
they
always
outsourced
outsourcing,
it.
but
Yeah, I think they outsourced it. Yeah.
Yeah, they're. I mean, 343, and funny enough, they named themselves after a betrayer, because they have betrayed the audience of Halo. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, they have become like a project manager for Halo. They don't. It seems like they don't do a lot of the actual work.
I mean, the best part of any 343 Halo game is the Halo 2 anniversary cutscenes, and they didn't even make those.
I will say this.
All they had to do was get the Halo 2 anniversary cutscene guys to do campaign evolve. They couldn't even do that.
The one thing that I liked in Anniversary were the little lore drop computer things that you picked up. Some of those were cool. But they weren't necessary. They don't really add to the game. That it's fan service for an Anniversary edition, but they shouldn't have been in the original because and we'll get into why this game is better than its predecessors, but
so why did it? So let's just start with how did everybody play this game this time?
I played it this time through Halo Anniversary on the 360, but exclusively in the original visuals. Although I would sometimes toggle just to like be upset about it, just to like seethe,
just to make myself mad.
I would just like start
Still
off
bad.
on like the 343 Guilty Spark mission, and then like just toggle and be like, "Oh, dude, they fucked this up. I hate them," and then go back.
I hate them. Did they? Am I? They tried to upgrade the cutscenes were upgraded as well, weren't they? Or quote unquote upgraded. They look like shit.
Yeah, I believe so. I during this playthrough, I didn't play with any anniversary cutscenes though. They were all just original.
Yeah. Okay, so you played basically the original game on the 360. I played the MCC with the original graphics. I played on what did you do? Heroic, Sneed?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you did Heroic. I played normal with the original graphics, and I think it fucking. I mean, it's basically the original game on MCC. So I feel like you do have to give it to MCC that like, hey, it runs 60 FPS. It's literally now. I believe it was the PC port, right?
Yeah, they used the PC versions of both Halo 1 and 2 for MCC.
Yeah. But I was comparing because I was jumping back to my original Xbox and playing Halo 1 just to see if there were any differences, and it just runs at a better frame rate. I really could not tell any differences between the original Xbox version I was playing and the Halo MCC version with the downgraded graphics. Do you know of any specific differences?
In what specifically?
But between like the original Halo 1 on the Xbox and the MCC version of Halo 1.
For campaign, it should be pretty much the same.
Yeah.
The only differences I'm aware of on the surface are in multiplayer, which is the addition of the fuel rod cannon and flamethrower weapons.
Oh, okay. How did you play it, Trace?
I played the PC version of Master Chief Collection.
Okay, just plugged in a controller.
Yep.
Right.
I can't play Halo with a mouse and keyboard. It feels like a heresy.
Yeah.
So couldn't do that.
All right. So before we talk more about this game, I wanted to for a second talk about. So Sneed, you gave us your thoughts on Campaign Evolved, but Trace, do you have any thoughts on this Campaign Evolved bullshit that's coming out on Twitter right now?
Yeah, I mean, I think the number one issue is that we did not want a prequel to Halo.
A three mission prequel to Halo for like who the fuck asked for that?
No one wanted that. And if they did, that's not the form they would have wanted it in, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you could have maybe made a Halo prequel that would have been interesting. But
I mean, they did. That's what Halo Reach is.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. But I mean, like one about Master Chief specifically about his origins. You could have done that, but
They probably have him take his helmet off 10,000 times.
Well, yeah. I mean, he's
and have sex.
He's like half biological implants at this point, so he probably looks like a RoboCop under there. I would think.
Did anybody watch the show?
No.
Fuck no.
Yeah, no, it looked gay.
Maybe I will at one point, but it's just gonna piss me off. Like, why would I bother?
Yeah, yeah,
It's like the Fallout show. It's like, ideally, would I like a show about Halo and Fallout? Yeah, but I have no faith in them to do it, well.
yeah. Yeah, I don't know why because I feel like most, I mean, so the Fallout show was a little bit woke in season 1 and like full ass woke in season 2, but in general it seemed to make like a lot of Fallout fans happy with the direction it went. It's like, why, I don't know why Halo can't do that and just make something that the fans actually want.
One more thing about Campaign Evolved is I feel like it was a blunder to greenlight this in the first place, because
Mhm.
at the time, like, their strategy was like getting rid of exclusives and going to PlayStation and whatever.
Right.
But if you were going to do that, why not just port MCC to PlayStation
Yep.
and
Yeah.
then hype everyone up for a new game
Yeah.
instead of like, oh,
yeah.
I feel like what they succeeded in doing is convincing PlayStation, like people who've been on that platform their whole gaming career, that Halo was always gay and it always sucked. That's really all it did.
Well, it's kind of the same thing they did with the stupid pointless Gears remaster that like didn't really look better at all than the Ultimate Edition. Like they put it on PS5, but they needed to have PS5 fans feel like, oh no, you're not getting this 2014 thing. You're getting like the 2021 awesome experience. I guess they Microsoft knew they could Jew it up and be like, oh, you're getting something new,
Yeah, and it seems to have had no impact at all. I don't hear anybody talking about it from the
Yeah.
PlayStation side whatsoever.
Yeah, no, any PlayStation diehard isn't going to be like, oh, Xbox is awesome.
No,
No.
it's just Halo fans. Basically, it's the divide between
Mhm.
the people who have convinced themselves that the 343 stuff is good,
Yeah.
and the people who have said that ever since Bungie left the Halo series, it's gone down the toilet.
Yeah.
And that's just the argument you're seeing play out online.
Yeah.
And it's a generational divide mostly, I think, from what I've seen.
Yeah, but for anybody if you've had your head buried in the sand, Campaign Evolved is awful. It has a bunch of missions with like this horrible girl boss character. Anybody sane, like I think I even saw fucking Act Man was hating on it. Like anybody with 2 cents in their brain hates this shit. And then there's still these people who are coping for it. And it's like, do these people even play video games? Because all the people defending Halo, that they're certainly not playing Halo, because any night of the week you can go on and see that nobody's fucking playing Halo Infinite. Nobody's on that game.
Yeah. I think largely it's the same group of people who tend to stand up for all of these sort of woke additions to old franchises.
Yeah.
Halo Infinite was so poorly managed. I mean, we had like a bunch of campaign expansions that were canceled because they couldn't get their shit together with coming out with content for the multiplayer, because they wanted it to be live service or whatever. And it was, drip feeding would be generous. I mean, there was just nothing, but they still make time to make like here is the African Day and Women's Day skins or whatever. That's like the priority. It's like,
Black History Month skids.
Yeah, they don't understand or care about their audience whatsoever. Everyone sees this, they're like, "Oh, I'm not getting any new content, but I'm getting like a rainbow like gay flag chief. Like, I'm out. Like, fuck this,
dude. I need my I can't breathe decal on my
I can't breathe
armor.
Not a single American flag in sight, but definitely Black History Month, Women's Day armor, and Pride armor for sure.
It's great. Like, how do you kill a free-to-play Halo multiplayer?
Seriously,
what a monumentous accomplishment.
Well, and the fact that like the original Halo 1 was such like a thinly veiled metaphor for the USA and the war in Iraq and all this stuff. It was like Halo was like a very pro-America game, and now there's like you can't even find a single American flag in it. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's I mean, I think there's an assumption that the that there's something very American about the initial game, right? And then it sort of becomes like, oh, this is some world military later. I mean, they try to push that.
Right.
I don't know. I mean,
well, from the beginning, anyway, we'll get into that later. Let me kind of get us started off here. So I'm gonna read some stuff. So guys, Halo, in case you didn't know, is a genre-defining first-person shooter created by Bungie. And it was so influential, in fact, that many say it standardized how first-person shooters would play on consoles. Another fun fact here: Bungie was making PC games for 10 years before it made Halo. Point Trice, our PC guy.
There you go.
But Bungie was making PC games for 10 years before it made Halo, and then they only made one console game before Halo, Oni. So it's pretty wild that Bungie's literal second attempt at a console game, and they made one of the most important games of all time. But Halo didn't start out as an FPS, as we said earlier. It started out as a real-time strategy game and was first shown at Macworld in 1999. Microsoft, and perhaps its only W in history of the world, came along, fully funded the project, told Bungie the game had to be a first-person shooter, and the rest is history. I also find it ironic that Halo would later become an RTS, but Bungie would not work on that game. It's just funny that Halo was originally an RTS. So,
well, it was obviously a StarCraft clone, right? Initially,
was it?
I mean, yes, to a degree.
Really?
I mean, look at the interplay between the antagonists and the humans, right? I mean,
well, Halo Wars. I've always thought Halo Wars. Whenever I get the itch to play Halo Wars, I'm just like, I'll just play StarCraft instead.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, it's you have the Covenant, who are effectively the Protoss. I mean, basically the same thing. It's like a 1-for-1, and then the Flood is the Zerg, and then the Spartans are what? They're the humans, the Terrans. So it's pretty much like, and don't take this as a knock. I mean, Blizzard borrowed their stuff from Games Workshop. People borrow all the time. And it's a good thing to borrow from, because it was, it's a very good interplay. I mean, you could even see it the way the weapons play out, right? In RTSs, it's almost like a game of rock, scissors, paper that's sort of more complex. But early game, Terrans are better against Zerg. Well, in this game, the Spartan weapons are much better against the Flood than the Covenant weapons. So there's something to that. It's
another thing. I think another thing that backs that theory up is that Bungie made an RTS. It was called Myth. They had made 2 RTSs actually before they had gotten into Halo, and so they were definitely into StarCraft. They were definitely playing StarCraft, and so I don't know, Sneed, do you put any credence to that theory?
I don't know enough about StarCraft to say.
Okay. Yeah.
The lore is very similar.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I've actually never thought about that. That's a great point. You've got 3 races, one kind of like this sort of like godlike silver. There's definitely similarities between the Covenant and the Protoss, and between the Flood and the Zerg.
I mean, the elites look almost exactly like Zealots. They use energy swords just like the Zealots do. It's very, very close.
Yeah.
I mean, the interesting thing is, if Blizzard had ever made that StarCraft Ghost game, we would have gotten to see what their version of a first-person shooter with the same type of lore would have looked like, and then we'd be comparing Halo to StarCraft Ghosts. But that game never got made. So,
dude, did we ever get to see, like, I've heard so much about StarCraft Ghost over the year. Has anybody ever found like a prototype of that? I wonder. I don't know. It'd be cool to see.
I don't know. I do know that they were, they had done work on it. I don't know how far along it was. So I never really dived deep into canceled games. It just depresses me when I find out it might have been good.
Yeah.
So I hear something gets canceled. I remember what it was about, but I don't go diving too deep because it makes me sad.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a lot of games that got left on the cutting room floor that would have been awesome.
Yeah.
But,
so Beaten Cheeks, our resident minority, said, "OMG, I wish Blizzard made the Ghost game. I heard it may be back in production. I could be wrong." Yeah, maybe. All right. So going to the first big question here. If I asked you guys to place Halo in a list of the most influential shooters of all time, where would you place it? Sneed, do you want to go?
Yeah, this is a premise that I struggle with. It's like, they're all like just different steps, in discovery and innovation. It's like it's like the wheel and like the automobile. It's like how do you rank them? Like, you wouldn't have the
Well,
automobile without the wheel. Does that make the wheel more important? Does it make the automobile more important? Even
I
though the
get it.
automobile is more
well,
impressive.
yeah, I think, yeah, no, but I think because you can still identify like to me, the step, yes, the step from nothing to Wolfenstein 3D was a huge step, yes, but the step from like Doom to Halo is fucking huge.
Well, you're
Well,
missing 2 games in between that, I think. Like,
Yeah,
you're
more than
missing
2 games. Yeah, a ton of games.
yeah,
I
there's,
mean,
like,
I
Medal of
can,
Honor and GoldenEye that, like, paved the way for this too.
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah.
I can give you mine. I put Halo at 4, but
Okay, so what are your top 3?
Wolfenstein is number 1, and although it wasn't the first person shooter, there are first person shooters going all the way back to the 1970s. Although those were rough and not
It was
very
kind of like
enjoyable to play.
lines, sort of like lines on the screen.
Yeah, basically. But
Yeah.
Wolfenstein was the first one that, like, this is how I would liken it. Wolfenstein brought first person shooters to computer nerds and like just the nerds, right? It didn't get anyone else to get out there and get a computer just to play Wolfenstein, but people who had computers played Wolfenstein. I remember being in 4th grade, standing in line waiting to get into class, and the nerdiest kids in my grade were talking about this sick game called Wolfenstein, and then I played it, and I was like, man, this game is sick.
Yeah.
So that was like the first person shooter I ever played. The second for me would be Doom, because Doom was enough of a cultural movement that people went and bought personal computers just to play it. So Doom was the next step. And then for me, GoldenEye was the third step, because GoldenEye proved that the first person shooter could work on a console. Right?
Yeah.
I think GoldenEye was the next step, and then for me, Halo was like a cultural revolution. Like when I was in college and Halo came out, everyone was playing it. Everyone wanted to play
fuck
Halo.
yeah.
There was no other game. It was Halo and Madden and Mario Kart Double Dash. Those were the games everyone was playing. I'm not kidding. Those were the games that when everyone got in a room, that's what they were playing, and Counter-Strike. But Counter-Strike was, once again, that was a nerd game. That was a computer game, right? This was a console game. Everyone can go out and buy a console back then, because how much was an Xbox?
Mm-hmm.
You know?
All right, Sneed, you don't want to play the ranking game?
I just don't think I can give the
Okay.
kind of answer that you want me to.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's fine.
yeah, it's hard.
Okay, so for me, and this might be heresy to some people, I'm putting Halo at 3, but it's because I'm kind of combining games. So for number 1, I'm putting Wolfenstein, Doom, Quake, and Unreal. And the reason why those are all in the top slot is because they all play very similar. Like, you are running around, you're moving very quick, you have 10 weapons at your disposal. They're all about fast movement. And all those games kind of do the same thing, although Quake did introduce 3D graphics, but it was still sort of the same thing. And then number 2, I'm putting GoldenEye and Half-Life, because I don't think people really knew that, these games can go slow. They can have a slower pace. They can be more cinematic, like Half-Life. They can be more careful, like GoldenEye is, and also the 3D environments of GoldenEye. And to me, I'm going to put Halo and I would probably say Call of Duty as well in number 3, because to me, I remember, I think it was like 2003 was the first time I played Halo, and I was in an apartment in college, and I just remember, like, this game is so much fucking fun. And it was the AI. I had never seen AI or enemy like reactivity and sort of systemic fun combat arenas in a single player game ever, like I had seen in Halo. So I'm putting it at 3, but that's, everybody's entitled to their opinion, obviously. So another random question I wanted to ask y'all here: what fantasy would you say Halo is providing for the player?
I mean, it's the John Rambo, like, commando, badass. You're the best soldier in the universe fantasy, right? It's a power fantasy to a degree.
Yeah.
But I mean, Halo is different because Halo, especially if you play it on Legendary, everything is dangerous. Like you could die. You die real easy on Legendary unless you're careful. So it does it really does impart sort of a careful gameplay. You don't run and gun in Halo, really, unless you're in a flood level.
Yeah.
But yeah. But it still manages to maintain that power fantasy, even though it's more of a careful sort of progression through levels than it is a mad sprint just to see how fast you can shoot everything and get to the other side.
Yeah. Any thoughts, Sneed?
Well, clearly this game appeals to my super based white Giga Chad savior complex. I pretty much entirely agree with Trice's take. That would have been my answer as well.
Yeah, dude. I think so. I went a little bit overboard because I thought I'm probably gonna make another long video about Halo, and I was like, I'm playing this game on normal, so I just went ahead and played Halo 2 and Halo 3 right after this game, and it was just like fun as hell just to play all three. And dude, Marty O'Donnell's music and the feeling of just being a badass hero, like the feeling of being a hero. And I played a decent amount of Halo 4 and Halo 5 as well recently. And I just don't feel that in Halo 4 and Halo 5, but it's such a strong feeling in these games. The feeling of being a hero, to me, that's the fantasy of Halo 1 is just you're the hero, you know?
You are, but everyone dies except you.
Except you.
Yeah. I mean, you end up basically having to sacrifice any living Marines on Halo in order to save the Earth, which is, I don't think a lot of people really consider the weight of that decision at the end.
But a lot of them got out. Like Johnson got out, and
you find that eventually, but you don't find that you don't know that at the time. That's in hindsight, that's true, but in the moment, that isn't true when you play the game.
Yeah.
Because
I don't think they intended for him to make it out, but everyone really liked him. He wasn't even named in Halo 1. He was just like the black guy Marine. Like he didn't have a name.
Black guy number 2.
The black guy Sarge. Yeah, I don't think they reference him by name in Halo 1 at all.
Yeah.
But so that's why, like, when you start off Halo 2, like, Gunny's like, how did you make it out in one piece? It's like, it's classified. It's like, oh, okay. Like
that's a good poll right there. Yeah. Okay, next question for y'all. If you had to pick one thing, so we're talking about Halo, being this like defining game that changed everything. What would you say was the most critical thing to its success? What set Halo apart as like, oh shit, this game is different? What's the one thing?
Oh man, how do you funnel it down into one thing? There's so many things that make Halo great.
Yeah. Trace, do you have one?
I do. It was the accessibility.
Accessibility? What are you talking about?
That it was on consoles, and consoles were way cheaper than computers. So if you didn't have a computer, you couldn't play a lot of these other FPSs at the time.
Right.
But everyone.
I think when you said accessibility, Andy, like immediately documented like the gateway.
No.
I did. I was like, do we have purple hair, and are we doing doing accessibility for trans people?
It's all the colorblind settings. That's what made this game so good.
Yeah, all the colorblind fucking
I mean accessibility in the sense it had a very low barrier to entry. All you had to do was go out and buy like a $250 console. I can't remember how much an Xbox was at the time.
But no, dude, that's a great point, because every big FPS was on fucking PC up until that point.
Yes.
Yeah,
and the reason why I didn't name like Quake and Unreal and some of those other games is because after Doom hit it big, there were so many FPSs on PC. I mean, hundreds. You've got games like Dark Forces and Redneck Rampage.
Doom clones. They were Doom clones.
Some of them were weirder. I mean, games like what's the medieval one? Witch Haven. Hexen's another one, yeah. But Witch Haven
Descent.
Too. Descent. You mean The Descent?
No, Descent. It was like you were in a spaceship. It was sort of like a 3D
Oh yeah.
game.
Well, that game is a little different. I played a lot of Descent. Descent is really more of like an arcade flight simulator. But and the weird thing about Descent is there's no gravity, so you don't know which way is up in that game. It's very strange, but it's a really fun game. I'd love to play it again, but
Redneck Redemption mentioned.
Yeah, Redneck Rampage, dude. That game is
I think he means Redneck Rampage.
yeah, the fucking chicken launcher. But that game, there were tons of first person shooters on PC at that point. I mean, it was probably the most popular game on PC besides RTS. Those two types of games were blowing up at the time.
Yeah.
But on console, you didn't have that many. And
Yep.
and I think that Halo showed what, like what can an FPS do on a console? Well, it can do everything it can do on a PC, by the way. So enjoy.
Sneed.
Yeah, I think you just highlighted a chat a second ago that pretty much is what I was going to say. Is I think it's the fluidity of the gameplay and how well it translates to controller. Because I mean, think of like the other big FPS games on console before it that were really influential. Like you can talk about like GoldenEye, which relied on the single analog stick to N64 controller, and you had like your otherwise movement with like the 4C buttons, which is never going to feel as great as a dual analog setup.
Yeah.
And then you had like say the second Medal of Honor game on the PS1, and like that did have dual analog support, but I mean it's a PS1 game. It's like pretty limited in how fluid it can feel. But this game, I remember at the time, it just felt like butter, like nothing I'd ever really played before.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's hard to narrow it down to one thing because this game was revolutionary in so many different ways.
Oh yeah. Like fucking armor, health regeneration, 2 weapon limit, actually slowing down, going in the other direction, not being fast. Like PC games made it feel more cinematic kind of.
You had incredible AI that just made this world feel like alive and believable.
Yep.
You had, for the time, pretty solid gunplay. Visually, it was the best thing I'd ever seen at that time.
Yeah.
The most goated pistol in any game ever.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, only outclassed by the Halo 2 pistol, according to Sneed.
No, definitely not.
You were coping for the Halo 2 pistol the other day, weren't you?
I think it's because I was shitting on the Halo 3 Magnum, which is fucking horrible.
Okay,
Halo 2 Magnums are definitely better.
Okay, you were only saying it's better than the Halo 3 Magnum, not that it's good.
Fuck yeah, Halo 3 Magnum is terrible.
Okay.
But no, the Halo Combat Evolved Magnum is the best by far.
It's the goat for sure. Yeah, I mean, maybe I had a limited FPS palette at the time, but like, Sneed and I played GoldenEye the other day, and GoldenEye is an amazing game. It was groundbreaking, but enemies are just kind of standing there. And same with Half-Life, and same with Doom. Like Doom, enemies just kind of came at you slowly. And this game took AI to another level. And we're going to talk about the open sandbox. Like, okay, so if y'all look on the screen here, about 10 minutes into this level, that first time you open up into that big area, and there's like the purple launcher, and then there's a tank, and then there's a ghost, and then there's a banshee going around. Y'all know what I'm talking about?
You said, hold on real quick. You said, look at the screen here. I'm just seeing the Halo gameplay still. Are you trying to show anything?
Yeah, no, it's this level. Is it called Assault on the Control Center? Maybe
Assault on the Control Room.
Yeah, Assault on the Control Room. I'm saying this particular level, about 10 minutes into this level, it's the first time you get to kind of a sandbox area in this game. Unless you consider like the beach scene from earlier a sandbox. Like it's like a snowy scene. Let me just see if I can get to it here.
Yeah, I mean, you can consider the second mission of the game, the beach one called Halo. You can consider that one a bit more sandboxy, but I think this one definitely opens it up a bit more.
Yeah. So yeah, I was talking about this specific scene where this was the first level in the game that I was like, oh shit, this is kind of the sandbox. And like what's going on here was so much more sophisticated than anything I played on Doom or GoldenEye, because there's so many different things you can do. Shit, you can get in the Warthog, you can have the sniper rifle, enemies are attacking you from all angles, and there's so many different ways you can deal with it, and all these AI are interacting with each other, and
you can steal enemy vehicles.
Oh yeah. Although I never figured out how to steal a banshee. Can you steal banshees on this?
I don't think you could hijack in Halo 1. I think they did that with 2. I think they specifically said they were inspired by Grand Theft Auto. with the hijacking.
Okay.
Yeah, you had to shoot the people out of the ghosts in order
That's right.
to steal them, or you had to shoot them before they got into the banshees. Then you could fly
Wait.
them around.
Dude, I would have sworn you can't hijack a ghost in this one. Maybe
Not
y'all are
in
right.
Combat Evolved, I don't think. No.
Okay. But anyway, yeah, I feel like this area is the perfect example of like just how sophisticated the AI had become. You've got enemies doing different things and flanking you, and they're smart and they've got tactics, and and every time, and like if you play this area on Legendary, it's like each time you go out there, it's going to be some different shit is going to happen. It's not, these aren't scripted like linear FPS games like we've had up until this point, where you kind of can do the same thing and beat the level. You can't memorize enemy placement. It's sort of like a soup of shit going on. And so yeah, I don't know if y'all feel the same way, but I was always really impressed when I first got to this area of the map.
Yeah, the AI feels so dynamic that each attempt at this feels a little bit different.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and then like on Legendary, sometimes you're just relying on luck. It's like, oh shit, like you just die so many times on Legendary. It's like, fuck, maybe I'll get lucky one time and I won't get hit with like the flood shooting me with that rocket,
Oh yeah, the rocket flood guys.
Fuck those guys.
Fucking pricks, dude. I have a funny flood story on the library. I think it's the library, right, where you're following around the guilty spark.
Yeah.
You have those little drones who help manage some of the flood.
The Sentinels, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm coming down the hallway. This isn't my gameplay. If you want to go, you don't have to bring it up, Andy. But if people want to go see it, there's a moment where I'm following them down the hallway, and I throw a sticky grenade right as one of those fuckers jumps in the air, and he jumps at the level of the Sentinels and blows them all up. And I'm like, oh fuck, I cooked myself. But like that's like one of those interactions that this game allows. There's like, it's like the AI has its own form of like emergent behavior.
Yeah,
that, like it increases the amount of interesting things that can happen in any playthrough.
Totally. Yeah, and I know we're going to talk about this later, but like people have talked about how this game was cut short and it seems to be missing content and it repeats map areas. But I am glad that they spent so much time nailing down the core like emergent gameplay rather than doing map designs. Because like any game can have more map designs, but it's rare that a game has like fun, emergent, chaotic, physics-based gameplay, like this game does.
I also don't think that's that weird. I think it was far more common when Halo came out to go back and revisit areas in order to sort of like save space. I think that was more common back then. I recall it being in a number of games. So, you revisit areas after they've been corrupted or they've been destroyed or whatever it is. I don't really have a problem with that. I like it when games come full circle to a degree. It for me, it's a good narrative swing, but maybe some people find it lazy. I don't.
Sneed, are you going to be able to watch this dog slop?
I'm struggling.
It just looks so dog shit. This art style, I hate it so much.
Yeah, it's not great.
Ugh.
It just looks muddy.
Yeah, it looks muddy. It's just kind of lost all of the minimalism of the original.
It has such a warm temperature compared to the original.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to shoot the guns on those things because I couldn't remember if you could blow them up in the first one or not. I know you could in the later iterations of Halo. You could shoot the guns off of the drop ships.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I don't think you can in Combat Evolved.
Okay, next question I wanted to ask y'all was whether in the big open areas or in the tight quarters of this game, what made the combat in this game work so well? And Sneed, you also wanted to talk about level design. So it seems like a good time to talk about that. But basically, what makes the combat fun in this game?
It's a combination of the fluidity, the gunplay, and the AI and their reactions to you.
What do you mean?
As far as the AI part,
Yeah, yeah.
well, they're very like unique. Like they usually come in like squads and like groups. You know, oftentimes there's like an elite, maybe like a couple jackals, couple grunts, right? You know,
Yeah.
you kill the elite, and like the grunts start like panicking and like running around.
Yeah.
Or you know, like this changes like how you want to like engage each one of these like gameplay setups tactically.
Yeah.
So you can
Yeah.
either like take out the elite and cause like the grunts to panic, or you can just easily like spray the grunts down with the assault rifle and get them off your back, so you can focus on the elite. Grenade like the jackals real quick and do that. But those interactions give you a lot of player agency, which I really enjoy.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, man. Talking about the AI really does make me want to. I really do want to do a legendary playthrough because the game is. There were parts I died quite a few times, even on normal. But in normal difficulty on Halo 1, it's mostly just a breeze, like going through the game. But I feel like when you play legendary, you really have to learn the shit you're talking about. Like you have to take out the elite first, so that you don't have to deal with the grunts, and like there's these systems that are optional that suddenly become mandatory if you're going to play this game legendary.
And those three main enemy types also brilliantly correlate really well to the starting equipment that you have for the majority of the game, which is frags, assault rifle, magnum. You know, spray down the grunts with the assault rifle, grenades for the jackals, and then magnum headshots for the elites.
Right. Yeah.
It pairs really, really well together.
Yeah. I felt like I was constantly running out of magnum ammo.
Oh yeah, because it's such a good gun that you just end up using it all the time. I mean, you can also one shot the grunts with it, so
yeah,
that's nice.
Trice, what about you? What just makes the combat work so well in this game?
Well, all of what Sneed said is true. I also think that it feels high stakes all the way through. I mean, it feels like anything can kill you. Like later in the game, even the grunts, they have those yellow launchers that I know they put them in the game later. I forget what they're called.
Fuel rod cannon.
Yeah, fuel rod
it's
cannon.
In the PC version and in the sequels,
Yeah. Well, they have those and they explode after you kill them. So if you grenade one of them and he comes and you blow him towards you, he will then blow up in your face and kill you. So like you have to be careful about how you deal with them when they have that weapon. Same thing with the flood. Like when you're playing against the flood, you don't want to use sticky grenades because they just jump at you.
Yeah, so, exactly.
So it's like, you've got you really have to think about the weapons you're using, how you're using them. Like the shotgun is obviously, I think, is also goated in this game. I love the shotgun. Mm-hmm. Sniper rifle is goated. I mean, all the guns seem to have their place. Even the assault rifle, which is my least favorite weapon, is really useful against the flood. But yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of. It's so balanced. I mean, there's a balance to it that just doesn't exist now. It's like there are power weapons and they're always better.
Yeah.
Right. But in this game, like, for instance, if you go into a flood level and you get tantalized by picking up a sniper rifle and a rocket launcher, you're gonna have a bad day.
Maybe not with the flood. Maybe not.
No, I don't know. You're not gonna have enough ammo to deal with all of them, and the sniper rifle doesn't work on the big guys, the big guys in the flood. You can't one shot them unless I don't know, or can you? Is there a spot that one shots them, Sneed?
I don't think so. I think the sniper is extremely ineffective against flood.
Yep. So it's the balance. I love it. I think it's great.
Yeah, they kind of still do the same balancing, like with the flood level, like in like when they are introduced in 343 Guild 2 Spark, but they swap out. Well, I swap out the Magnum for the shotgun because as you said, the assault rifle is really great for the little infection forms, and then the shotgun is really great for the infected or like elites and Marines and such.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, and also comparing this with games I had played before. Everybody's talked about the golden triad of guns, melee, and grenades. And I never really had played a first person game where melee and grenades were such a big deal, but melee and grenades became as important, definitely in multiplayer, but also some in single player. And it happened because the game slowed down. And some of the other things here is just all of the experimentation you can do. I've noticed Halo does this thing where it always shows you something and makes you think, oh shit, I want to use that. Like the first time you see a ghost, somebody's flying around in a ghost. It's not just sitting there. And you're like, as a kid, you're immediately like, oh shit, I want to drive that. I want to drive the ghost. I want to drive the Banshee. And same with the sword. Like you didn't get the sword in Halo 1, but the first time you get killed by one of those invisible elites with a sword, you're like, holy shit, I want the sword. And,
Oh yeah.
And God, dude, replaying Halo 2 and like why I guess the sword still does have a pull on it, but the pull on the sword in Halo 2 when you fucking sling that thing is incredible, dude. It like throws you across the map.
The sword in Halo 2 is the best it's ever been. It is so fucking overpowered.
Oh yeah.
And in multiplayer, it had infinite energy.
Dude, the sword. You talk about like visceral, like video games used to have like visceral, like tactile feels. Like the feeling of using the sword in Halo 2 is just better than any microtransaction in any video game. It's just fucking satisfying as fuck.
It basically had Commando from Modern Warfare 2, like built in.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful feeling the first time you pick up a sword in Halo 2.
Yeah.
Although I remember the first time I used the pistol in Halo 2, I was incredibly sad. So, she giveth and she taketh away.
Yeah. Well, she gaveth the battle rifle in Halo 2, one of the most legendary Halo guns of all time, and they taketh away the pistol. So,
yeah, I would prefer to have the pistol.
It was always interesting to me that Halo 2 split the assault rifle into the SMGs and the BR.
Yeah. I hate the SMGs personally, but
yeah, dude,
the noob combo was legendary. SMG plasma pistol, just hit him with charge dude. Shot and then just spray him.
Yeah, that was cheese.
I did that to Andy in our 1v1.
You're just cheesing him, dude. That's a cheese move.
He was camping the power weapons. I did what I had to do.
No, dude, noob combo. Total respect for the noob combo. I total respect.
You mentioned level design. You want to get into that?
Yeah.
I think that is the main criticism I have for this otherwise legendary game. I think
careful.
Yeah, I don't have a super high opinion of the interior level design. I think the exteriors are great, but I think the interiors are very monotonous and sometimes like the layouts are even confusing.
Surely you're not going to say Halo 2 is better though.
From a level design perspective, yeah, definitely.
Oh,
absolutely. What's your counter? What's your counter example? I suppose.
So
like a bad Halo 2 level design.
Okay, so what are you saying is a good Halo 2 level design?
All of them, because Halo 2 is good.
No, I'm just trying to think. Are you talking about like that Covenant level where you get on those platforms and they sort of like take you across that ocean?
No, I think that's probably the weakest level design in Halo 2 is High Charity.
Okay, but so what's some good level design in Halo 2? Because all I'm thinking of is the end of the game where it's like literally the same copy pasted Covenant room over and over again.
Halo 1 is filled with that. Like that's like my main criticism.
That's
if you want to talk about really good levels in Halo 2, I mean, there's a lot of them. I mean, Outskirts is amazing. I don't know, how is it escaping me? The first level, like when you're in your ship. What is it called? I'm blanking. It's the Halo 2 equivalent to Pillar of Autumn.
Yeah. It's very gray. Yeah, there's some like random palm trees and shit. Yeah.
But I think that one's laid out fairly well. You have, the one on the bridge with the tank right after Outskirts. You have the Heretic. That's a good one. Like
right.
There's plenty, but like Halo 1, right? The inside, like interior portions of the Halo mission, which is the one on the beach, I don't think are that good. I think they're kind of confusing. Truth and Reconciliation, when you're in like the Covenant ship, it's all the same shit. You're just going through the same purple hallways constantly. You can say that for Silent Cartographer, Sultan of the Control Room. I mean, the biggest example is the library. And there's also like 2 betrayals where you're backtracking, which is really annoying. And then you got to go back to the Truth and Reconciliation in Keys, and then you visit the Pillar of Autumn again in the Maw. But at least in the Maw, like it looks like super different because it's all like destroyed and wrecked. But yeah, I think the interiors leave something to be desired. But I think the exteriors are amazing.
And then you don't like Halo 3 because you couldn't afford a 360, right?
Here we go. Wasn't the PS3 more expensive? Famously, the $600 with no applause.
Dude, well, no, you couldn't afford a 360 because you spent all your money on your dumb PS3.
Yeah, no, you're right. I had to go on welfare after getting the PS3. That's true. I had to get EBT after that.
No, I see what you're saying because I'm thinking about the there's that sort of like highway level that starts with the tank and then you go through a bunch of tunnels and it's Halo 1's design is very like this that's on screen, sort of like small corridor type spaces and then big open areas, and there's not a lot of like in between maybe.
I mean, stuff is amazing in Combat Evolved. Like, I hate that the mission's called Halo just because it's confusing. But in the mission Halo, the beach and all the exterior stuff is like really fucking awesome. Or like Truth and Reconciliation, where you start out and it's nighttime and you've got the sniper rifle with a ton of ammo and night vision. That shit's amazing. Or, all these exterior parts, like the one that you showed when we were talking about the AI interactions and how it's kind of different every time because it's very dynamic. Those parts are incredible. But I really feel like it's like a battle between like amazing open areas and kind of sucky interiors.
Do you think that anything had to there was any impact by technical limitations of the time? I mean, because I remember most FPS as being repeated hallways during this era.
But at least the AI, but the right, but the AI was a lot better than I think the level design felt old. The AI was sort of what made it interesting.
I think the devs have admitted that the level design interiors are lacking. I think they've even expressed like regret for shipping the library in the way that they did. But I think they mentioned specifically that they really focused on AI interactions in particular. And so level design was a little bit of a sacrifice in that way.
Yeah, and dude, it's so crazy to me when y'all were talking about the flood earlier. Like, dude, I remember the first time encountering the flood, like being fucking freaked out by these guys, and then like the way one of them will sneak up behind you and just like whap, like in your face with like its hoof or its hand or whatever the fuck it is, like making and then the way they'll kind of like levitate and float as they're fucking moving through the air, like. One of the things that, and maybe we'll talk about this later as we're talking about all of the games together, but something that's bummed me out about later Halos is I wish they had, and this is probably a controversial take, I wish they had like come up with more legitimate new enemy types, because I don't personally want to see grunts, elites, and flood every single game. And like I hate the what was the Halo 4 enemy type?
Oh yeah, the Forerunners, whatever they among them.
Yeah. The Forerunners were dog shit, and it's like
not fun to fight at all.
Oh, not fun to fight at all. Yeah, the Forerunners absolutely sucked ass. But like, keep the old enemy types, but throw in like some new races and some new. I don't know. I just wish it's like we've spent. What did Bungie make? Like 5 or 6 Halo games. It's like, guys, get some new. I don't know. I kind of wish
we sprinkled a couple new ones here and there. Like we had Engineers and ODST. We got the female jackals and skirmishers, I think, and Reach.
Yeah,
we got a few.
Yeah, I guess I mean like a completely
Brutes.
new. Well, like, dude, what if you were fighting humans? What if there was like a human race you were fighting?
Well, in Halo lore, they have like the insurrection. I mean, that could be a prequel. They could do that.
Yeah. I don't know. I just realize I wish that Halo over the years got more creative with its. It's like I just 20 years of playing Halo, I just get tired of fighting grunts. Like, can I just anyway? That's probably kind of a controversial take, but moving on here.
Like, I wouldn't
Yeah.
mind some more variety. I would just be worried that, especially now with 343, that they would completely fuck it up. I mean, they designed a whole new set of enemies for Halo 4, like you mentioned,
And it's
we
sucked
talked
ass.
about.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's horrible. And we talked about that dynamic earlier about how you can strategize. Like, do I want to take out the elite, make the grunts panic, or do I want to get rid of the grunts so I can focus on the elite? Whatever. That dynamic was ruined in Halo 4 because you had those like little flying drone type enemies called the Watchers. And if you didn't take them out first, they would just revive the knights.
Yeah.
It was fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
So it removed all strategy.
Yeah, and they didn't read as strongly. Like the enemies read so well in the classic Halo games, and I think those knights you like could barely tell the difference between them. It had to do with like a light on their back or something was how you're supposed to tell the difference between them,
as opposed to like the elite like color difference between like the majors, the minors, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Andy, you got a super chat.
Huh? Let's see. Super chat. Oh, $2. Andy Pants, did you play Campaign Evolved? No, I have not played it yet. I don't think any of us have played it, right?
I don't want to give them my money. That's the place I find myself. I don't want to pay to play that Drek. And
Drek.
it's largely the same. It's largely the same game. They just added things I didn't want added. So why would I pay for that? So, I mean, eventually I will play it probably.
You don't like the new girl boss character?
Oh, no, she's the one silver lining in A Dark Cloud. No,
she's Halo's third girl boss character.
I know, she's heinous.
What a great addition.
Yeah, it's just what we needed, because the first two were so well received.
Yeah, everybody loved Sarah Palmer from Halo 4 and 5, and everybody loved. You know what, Dare and ODST does not get enough hate. She's very annoying.
She sucks. ODST, by the way, is when the series started to go downhill, in my opinion. But
hang on. We'll get into that in a second. But dude, does Sarah Palmer, doesn't she say the first time she sees Chief, doesn't she say, I thought you'd be taller?
Yeah, I immediately was like, dude, I hate
cunt. That fucking cunt.
And people go like, oh, it's in the lore for like Spartan 4s to be resentful of Spartan 2s or whatever. It's like, who gives a fuck? Nobody gives a fuck.
Nobody gives a fuck.
That lore, that lore is gay. That's gay lore.
She's ultimately there, just like with the new one, to undermine the protagonist.
Yeah.
Guess what, dude? Lore can be bad writing. It can be bad writing that doesn't make sense. We all know that there's a rivalry between the Marines and the Army, and they give each other shit when they're at a bar. They don't do it when they're in a combat situation.
Also, there's not a fucking Master Chief in the real Army. Like, there's no way they would be like, look at your dumb armor. Look at this idiot with his PR campaign. Like, fuck off.
Well, there is.
You're totally right. The Army guys would love to bully and tease like the guys in the Navy or like Air Force pilots, but they're damn thankful when that A-10 Warthog comes and does a strafing run when they're bend.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like a playful rivalry that takes place at bars and in other places when they're outside of a combat situation. But in a combat situation, the military understands that you do your job. You don't like snipe at people and act like a cunt, which is what these characters all do. Additionally, I do. Isn't there a master? There is a master. It's not Master Chief, but there's like a Master Sergeant rank in the military, right? Something like that. That's the highest ranking enlisted officer. I think that's what Master Chief is supposed to be.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, in the Navy, yeah.
And my understanding is that if you hold that rank, that you are held in very high regard by even officers who technically outrank you. Treat you as on level. So, and you certainly wouldn't get mouthed off to by like a lieutenant or a second lieutenant. which
real-
are the
real-
lowest forms of officer.
not to derail too much. But Andy, can you back the video up that you're playing by like 10 seconds or so?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe somebody who has military service in the chat
A
can
little-
back me
little
up
further.
on that one. But
I just wanted to point out, when you're going down this elevator, you see all like the blood on the wall.
Hmm.
There's like several sections in this mission where there's like, because before the reveal of the flood, it's like very ominous and whatnot.
Hmm.
And there's sections with blood all over the place, whatever. That stuff is completely absent, or like seriously toned down in the anniversary visuals, which is really criminal.
Yeah, it's fucking gay.
The atmosphere was completely annihilated by 343. Sorry, Trace, I didn't mean to cut you off. It was just relevant
no.
to the video.
No, you're good. You're good.
Trace, you got a comment in the chat here. Just started Cold Steel 4. Andy, I know you think JRPGs are gay, but they're the most base genre.
So you're half right. From a story perspective, they tend to be more base than Western games are now. From a visuals perspective, I would argue that they are a little soft. And I think that that's what keeps people like Andy away from enjoying them fully, is because Andy wants sort of a gritty realism in his games, and you're not going to get that in a JRPG. It's just not. It's not the genre for that.
Well, I think I want the visuals to be, because it sounds like the story is based. It's just I want the. I don't.
You want gritty. You want gritty, realistic visuals. That's what you like.
We're gonna
Right.
make Andy play games where little teenage girls learn about friendship and sharing.
They got to learn sometime.
I told
right?
you guys.
Everyone's got to learn about friendship and
Dude,
sharing.
I told you
I'm
guys.
teaching my
I will
children about it
play-
right now.
Dude, as long as it's not gay ass Persona 5, I will play any JRPG y'all want me to play. We can do a JRPG as our next game. I'll do it.
Well, not yet, because we need. You're going to need 80 hours to get through a JRPG.
We'll do
More
it
like 100.
Yeah, we'll dedicate a month to it.
But I would love to play one.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Somebody said you're talking about Master Chief Petty Officer, which is an E9 pay grade rank in the Navy. So it Master Chief actually is a rank.
Yeah,
that's cool.
And it's a highly respected rank. It's not. You would not go up and talk to that person as if they were some enlisted, clown. That's not going to happen ever. Even if you had some sort of childish rivalry.
Well, yeah, and aside from all that, we know what it's really about. It's about owning the chuds. That's exactly what the girl boss thing is about. Like I literally think these people watch my videos and they're like, "What is the most terrible thing we can do to piss the chuds like Asmon and Andy and all these people off?" And they did it. They pissed us off.
Well, it's some of that, but the left also has this obsession with hero deconstruction. A lot of what you see now in the Marvel universe, or like sort of later stage superhero comics, it's all about hero deconstruction.
Right.
So you look at something like The Boys. That's the deconstruction of heroes, right? Or The Watchmen. All of these things are deconstructive. And when they came out, those things were, I would say, they were sort of like at the front end of like, I don't know, better word than avant-garde, but they were new. It was a new concept, deconstruct the hero. But the problem is that got folded into all the comic book stories after. So now you have deconstructed Superman and you have deconstructed everyone, and everyone's not necessarily a hero, and they have more weaknesses than they ever did.
Yeah.
And they're all sort of damaged psychologically. Right. And the problem that they have with Master Chief is he's hard to deconstruct because you don't really get to know much about him.
Yeah.
So the only way that they can deconstruct him is by deconstructing his aura, by having people shit on him. So
right, and he's obviously not going to respond because he's too much of a Chad to respond to dumbass shit. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean he's not a clown. He's not the one that's gonna, he would never walk up to an ODST and be like, "Y'all's a bunch of bitches." He's not gonna do that because he's not a retard. But
and that's
characters they make are retards.
Yeah, and that's what pissed me off so much about the beginning of Halo 4. And I know that Halsey and her whole plot line, I know that began in Halo Reach, but I feel like in Halo Reach, the creator, Halsey, the creator of the Spartans, she was a morally complicated individual, but in Halo 4 they pretty much are, and Halo 5 they pretty much make her like she's a villain now. Oh, she's so bad for making these Spartans. And you see the deconstruction of Master Chief even in Halo 4, which was one of the worst Halo games. I don't know, what do y'all think about that?
I think you're spot on.
Yep.
All right, so moving on here. How did the multiplayer experience of Halo differ from the single player experience? Sneed, you also wanted to, we could just talk about like the weapon balancing. I didn't even know that the weapons changed, or the weapon strength changed in multiplayer. I guess it does.
Not in that way, like not necessarily. It's more that like the weapons are a little bit more, because remember, I think they added multiplayer as like a last minute thing, if I remember right.
Dude, that is so insane, isn't it?
Because I know GoldenEye did that too. It's really crazy that like these like revolutionary modes is just like, yeah, it's just a last minute thing. Oh, holy shit, it changed everything forever.
Dude, look at what I have on screen again. Like literally top row, a bubble could just be, oh yeah, we spent a week on it and we added multiplayer to Halo 1, you know. Fucking just Chad developers.
Like we're talking again about like the balance of I mean the Magnum is maybe the best weapon in the game overall, but you have like that balance of like the assault rifle is really good for certain things, the shotgun's really good for certain things, et cetera, et cetera. But in PvP multiplayer, that's not really the case. I mean, the Magnum is going to win like 90% of gunfights, unless someone has like a sniper and they're far away.
Yeah,
I mean, you can two-shot someone like across the map and like blood gulch with the Magnum. It's ridiculous.
Yep.
So I think that's one knock against this game. Is I think the PvP weapon balancing is not great. The Magnum is definitely overpowered, and overpowered is really fun in campaign. Overpowered is not necessarily great for PvP. Not when it's so imbalanced from everything else. Like you can talk about like Modern Warfare 2, right? Everything in that game is overpowered as fuck. But because everything is overpowered, it's pretty balanced. Like just because someone's using the UMP or the ACR doesn't mean I'm going to lose my gunfight with my M4, like at all. But if someone's maybe 20 feet from you in Combat Evolved with a Magnum and all you have is the assault rifle or the plasma rifle, like you are fucked. You're not winning the gunfight. And I think that's definitely a problem.
Yeah. Okay. So you feel like the pistol makes Halo 1's PvP a bad experience?
Well, I wouldn't say a bad experience. It's still a game I've had countless hours of multiplayer fun on. But it is kind of annoying when most of the time, like the default weapon set is assault rifle Magnum, and then when you spawn in, you immediately switch to your Magnum because you know it's incredible. It's the best. It's basically a power weapon that you spawn with.
Yeah. Why did the assault rifle Sneed feel so good in this game? And it never, to me, the assault rifle felt like dog shit in every other Halo game.
Yeah. I was butthurt in like Halo 3. I'm like, you know, you brought back the assault rifle, but it feels like shit. It sounds like shit. It sucks.
Yeah.
Didn't they reduce the amount of rounds it held too?
Yeah, this was the highest capacity by far with 60. Everyone else has had 32, and then the newest one is 36. So yeah, I mean, the sound of being able to just spray the fuck out of everyone with a 60 round mag. I mean, if this thing held 32 and otherwise functioned the same, it would probably still feel decent, but you would dump it pretty quick because it would suck with half the capacity.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I think they tried to make the AR feel good in Halo Infinite, but it's still, to me, it's Halo 1. Nothing ever has come close to that. Does somebody want to?
I like the AR in Infinite, but it functions a little bit differently. Some of the newer Halo weapons in general, like the ones that have added bloom and such, because, you know, in say like Reach or Infinite, like if you really fire the weapon slowly, you can get some pinpoint shots in, which I think helps increase the weapon balancing a bit.
Yeah. All right. Who wants to take this question? If Bungie came back to Halo, do you think it'll be the same Halo as it was in the 2000s?
Look at Marathon, and then you answer that question yourself.
Yeah, no, big time, no. I mean, you have to understand, developers are a ship of Theseus.
Yeah.
Every year there's turnover. That means, some boards rot, they replace them with new boards. And the Bungie that exists now, I don't know who is still there from the Halo Combat Evolved days, but I would have to assume that you could count the people on maybe one hand.
Yeah.
So
yeah, Marty O'Donnell has said in all the interviews that basically everybody, all the Chads that were there in the Halo days, they're completely gone from Bungie now.
This is why people get upset at these studios that have like these incredible legacies, but it's not like it's the people that make the games.
Yeah.
It's just it's an empty shell. It's Bungie in name only. Just like
Yeah.
BioWare. BioWare is not the legendary KOTOR and Mass Effect trilogy BioWare anymore.
Yeah, they made Vilgard. Yeah.
They made Vilgard, they made Anthem, they made Andromeda.
Yeah.
I will say this though, Anthem was incredibly technically impressive if you played that game.
I did. Yeah. I played the campaign. It looked incredible, and
it felt incredible too.
Yeah.
The problem with it was the story was ass and there was nothing to do in the game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think those things don't make that kind of game fail on their own. I mean, look at Destiny when Destiny launched. I think the story of Destiny was fucking retarded and kind of empty, and there was nothing to do until they came out with expansions.
Yeah, you're correct. But Destiny was a failure at first. People hated it.
Is that true? Did people not like Destiny largely until like the Taken King or something?
No, it wasn't the Taken King. It was the witch, the first expansion fixed it.
Lich King, Lich Queen, Witch Queens. I don't know.
It was
I think it was like the first two expansions I believe were House of Wolves and Dark Below, and then the third one was Taken King.
There was some they added an update.
But the point is people did not like Bungie at launch, though. He's correct. And I think legendarily Bungie like really listened to their fans and they turned it around. And it was like the famous story of, oh wow, this live service game went from trash to awesome.
Yeah,
for people who like Bungie, for people who like Destiny. I did not, but a lot of people did.
It's the same thing that happened with Final Fantasy 14. Final Fantasy 14 released. It was an MMO and it was garbage, and they had to blow it up and start over. They took it down for
and then
a whole
they came
year.
Out with The Realm Reborn, right?
Yeah, and they fixed it. They were able to save it, but I mean, that's because Square had a dedication to making it work. Bungie had a dedication to making that game work, and they had a long leash with Microsoft at the time, or I don't know, whoever was. I guess Bungie was on their own at that point.
Activision,
yeah.
So do you think that Anthem was simply given up on too soon?
Yes, I think it was absolutely given up on too soon. Although I will say this: if you go back and play that game, that is the best Iron Man simulator you will ever play.
Yeah, it did feel amazing. Yeah, launching into the air and flying around felt great in that game.
It was sick.
I thought the game was super boring, but I will admit the traversal was very fun. That was the best part.
Well, the combat. Yeah, the combat was kind of generic. It was just sort of like do something back at base and then go out in your Iron Man suit and shoot guys and then get a hollow call from somebody. Like the gameplay was.
You can tell that they spent all of their time on getting down the flight mechanics and the appearance of the suits and all of that, and very little on the combat. And part of that was because the game was in development hell. So I think if you'd given it another 2 years, to cook, I think it might have, people might still be playing Anthem. But
for what it's worth, I don't really like looter shooters like in general. So like my opinion on that's kind of biased.
Yep.
I like them, but my problem with the genre is it's become one of those genres that's filled with disgusting microtransactions. And
Destiny 1 even was so fucking greedy.
Yeah. Not nearly as
bad
even
as 2, though.
famously
lock you out of content that you previously paid for if you didn't buy the newest expansion as well.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only thing I liked about Division 1 and the only thing that I was grinding for was that you could bring your high-powered weapons that you had grinded for into PvP. So you would be really powerful in PvP after all of that grind that you did. And to me, that was a fun motivation. And then of course they totally fucked up PvP in Division 2, and I hate Division 2, and the game's terrible. But and
I
like
I hated that in Destiny 1. It's like they totally like wrecked the weapon balance. Like I remember there was this one shotgun called like the Universal Remote that people had to like grind for.
yeah.
And you would just get completely demolished by that thing. And I thought it was so fucking annoying. I got the Universal Remote on like the last possible
And then they
day,
nerfed it.
and then they nerfed it into the dirt. Like, oh, here you go, pay piggies, buy the new shit, grind for the new
Piggies grind
shit.
for the new shit.
Dude. I hate when games do that. Modern Warfare Remastered did that too.
I love Destiny 1, so I disagree, but I had a lot of fun with the PvP. But you know, to each their own. Like you said, you hate looter shooters. So
all right, let me. I'm gonna guess. What class did you pick? Was it Warlock?
Yeah, I was a Warlock.
Oh yeah, see, I knew it. I knew it.
I fucking knew
total Warlock death, dude. I fucking hated everything. Warlock.
Oh, dude, you saw that lightning storm? It gave you PTSD, didn't it?
Yeah, I was a hunter, Chad.
Hunter Chad.
Dude, no. Hunters are, you know, you guys are little edge lords. I never liked them.
He's like, Trice is like, it's way cooler to wear a skirt and be a warlock and float around like a fag.
If you want to, I
didn't have a skirt,
really
dude.
Well, you just
don't
ask
they?
Them what
they all. I thought they all have skirts. They're like wizards.
No, you could change your armor out for different things. You could make yourself look the way you wanted, basically.
You did float though. Floating's kind of gay.
Nah, dude, floating's awesome. If you could float, you would go everywhere floating. I promise you. You would never use your legs again.
You can absolutely guess what they played as in Destiny. I'm guessing that Andy played as a Titan.
No, Titans were awesome.
No, I was actually the other one.
I played a Titan too.
You were also a hunter, Chad?
Yeah, I was a hunter. I liked hunter. Yeah.
Oh yeah, fuck you, Trice. Fucking
sorry.
Warlock.
I was a warlock and I played Titan. I played both.
Well, because the hunter had that. It was you had the pistol, right, as your main.
Yeah.
That was fucking cool. All right, enough ganging up on Trice for his warlock for being
for being a dirty warlock.
Dirty warlock.
Hey man, I finished every raid in that game. I loved that game.
Yeah, people have told me that Destiny 1 was just way like more just harder and like more sort of like opaque in its knowledge, like whereas Destiny 2 you can just sort of things are a lot easier to figure out in Destiny 2, and it killed the fun of the game.
It's true. The other thing I'll say this about Destiny, the community was a lot better in Destiny 1 than it was in Destiny 2.
Yeah,
I think because the game initially failed, and people were happy that it had survived that failure to basically get all of its raids out and everything. People were just kinder. They had a way of like they would teach people how to do raids. Yeah. That's what I noticed. I mean,
think that's kind of universal though. Like I think gaming communities were just better in 2013, 2014 compared to now.
Maybe. I mean, you know. Final Fantasy games like that. I've noticed that games that have like they have like a raid finder or whatever. The people just leave because they're like, "Oh, it's a roulette. This time I got retards. Next time I'll try. I'll get a better team." So they
right. Whereas if you had something invested in the people you found, you're way less likely to bolt.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I thought teaching people raids in that game was fun. Now, you know, every now and then you ran into somebody who literally could not do the mechanics because their thumbs don't work, and that's a different problem. But
yeah. So we're okay. All right, we're supposed to be talking about multiplayer. Did you play? So I actually mostly played Halo 1 single player, and by the time I was getting into multiplayer gaming, I was on to Halo 2, which is the absolute peak multiplayer in my opinion. But what about you, Trice? Did you do a lot of Halo 1 multiplayer?
I probably played like 4,000 hours of Halo 1 multiplayer. Nice. I was in a fraternity house when Halo came out.
Did you think the pistol was horribly imbalanced?
It was, but it was fun. So nobody, like everyone had one. So you just had to get good with it.
True.
I mean, that's what it came down to.
Yeah.
And you know, there were certain levels where it was more like the more open a level was, the more brutal the pistol was. So, you know, the maps where you had a little bit more obstruction, there were other ways you could play, But you're right. It was unbalanced. It was. But everyone started with the pistol, so it was your choice not to use it.
Was there a favorite level in the frat house?
Since we were mostly playing with we were always playing with at least 2 Xboxes linked. So famously, it was like Blood Gulch, I think is probably the one we played the most.
Yeah.
But everything got played. And you know, what's the name of the one where you basically had the 2 sides with the teleporters? They were facing each other. It was
no, that's Halo 2. Never mind.
No, it was snipers were the most, because we had a couple of guys in the fraternity house who were insane with the sniper rifle, and they always wanted to play those maps. So we played those a lot. We played them all. I mean, they all got played. So
yeah, dude,
but
sorry.
Go ahead.
I gotta admit, Sneed's pretty good with the sniper. He caught up the other day to my 10-0 lead and crushed me because he's pretty good with the sniper.
Thank you, Andy. That's the nicest thing you've ever said to me.
Pretty autistic. He's pretty autistic with the sniper rifle. That's what I meant to say.
Okay.
Dude,
That's fair.
I mean, Halo 1 multiplayer is so goated. It spawned red versus blue. I mean, that's you know, I mean, like that was a web series that everyone knew what it was. It was like the first.
How did the frat house react to Halo 2?
We played it, but the problem was that, you know, now that you could play online, it sort of killed the, you know, that everyone's sitting around.
You could play on it took some work, but you could play online in Halo 1. It just you had to be like
Halo 1's console version had online play, just the PC one.
No, you had to be like connected through a computer. You had to do something weird through a computer, I think.
Yeah, we didn't.
Matchmaking.
No one was doing that.
Yeah.
In the frat house, everyone was
just
too
playing locally.
Was too soaked in beer and bong water for that. But once Halo 2 came out, and you know, it was basically like, it was easy to play online. A lot of that died. It was kind of sad in a way. So I think. I think my perceptions of Halo 2 multiplayer are a little bit colored by that, because it was sort of the end of an era. It was the end of, you know, 16 guys in a room waiting for their turn, drinking beers and smoking cigarettes.
It's sad.
Shitting on the people who were terrible, you know, screaming, "I got next."
Dude, that sounds incredible. I'll get that like one weekend every 5 years now. And like to have that every single day in the frat house sounds incredible.
Oh, dude, I would go to, you know, I would leave for class. There'd be people already playing, and I'd come back, and during my break between classes, I'd sit in, play a few games, and then, you know, somebody would grab the sticks right from me and they would play.
Yeah.
You know, like after me. So those Xboxes ran like
constantly,
like 18 hours a day for like 2 years. So
yeah.
You know.
I got introduced. I was playing Halo 1 Legendary mode in an apartment just with my buddy, and then when I went back to Atlanta, or sorry, never mind that I mentioned the city where I live in. Whatever. My brother and we got really into Halo 2 in 2004, and so my first experience of Halo 2 was kind of a solo, like, online matchmaking experience. And I was just like, holy shit, why is this so fun? Because I had never, like, I think I had played Alien vs. Predator on PC and then got my ass killed by people, and I just assumed my PC sucked. And so Halo 2 was like my first online gaming experience, and I was so freaking hooked. And so I guess it didn't matter that I was playing by myself, because I was like, it was like every game was different and it was fun as hell. And so yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, my first online gaming experiences were via BattleNet. You know, Blizzard
StarCraft
games. Yeah.
StarCraft,
And before that, you know, it was EverQuest. Although actually those things weren't, EverQuest wasn't before that. It was around the same time. So I mean, online play was a thing on PC before it was a thing on consoles. So
yeah, for sure. Yeah. All right. Trice, you wanted to talk about how, and the only other, was there anything else you want to say about multiplayer, Sneed?
No, not really.
Okay.
Just that, like, you know, I played a crazy amount of hours of this game's multiplayer. It was really popular with like a certain segment of the neighborhood that I grew up in. But I didn't discover Halo Combat Evolved until 2003, so I only had to wait like a year for Halo 2.
Mhm.
So I had a lot more like larger experiences with Halo 2 multiplayer.
Yeah, same.
But I
And
did
then
get to play in my high school library. We had a kid who installed the Combat Evolved on all the library computers. And so we all got to play LAN in there in high school, and that shit was fun.
with a mouse?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, who would have thought Sneed originally a PC guy? PC to his core. PC to his core.
His
Back in the
story comes out.
I was still consistently winning.
You're still running train on those guys?
Of course.
Yeah, did y'all notice the first thing I noticed about Halo 2 was that the screen was cropped. It just felt like your view was like what do you call it? Your field of view was like tighter on Halo 2 compared to Halo 1.
That's probably true. I'm sure they did that for performance reasons.
Yeah. No, and but the only other thing I noticed about multiplayer, and I was thinking of like the Sneed, what was the name of the level you kicked my ass on, the with the rockets down in the middle? There's like a big fountain.
The first one that you rage quit on, or the second one where we played the
no,
first
not
one,
Beaver
or the
Creek.
third one with the 2v2?
Not the final one where it's like in
the Ivory Tower.
Ivory Tower. Dude, Ivory Tower. The thing to me that just was so good about Halo multiplayer was like, because it was slower, because it wasn't like Doom or Unreal Tournament or Quake where you're zipping around and everybody has like 10 weapons. It's like it made these like last so it just created cinematic moments where it was like, oh shit, this guy was shooting me, and then I meleeed him, and I jumped off the thing, and I chucked a grenade, and I stuck him with a grenade, and like, dude, it felt more, Halo's multiplayer felt more cinematic to me than like any of the other kind of multiplayer shooters I had played. You know, anybody know what I mean?
Yes, I actually have a funny story that relates to this. There was a guy in my fraternity who was so good at Halo 1 that you would have to put all the other good players on another team in order to beat him.
In order to beat him, stack the other team.
Yeah, and that made for even matches. I mean, this guy never missed pistol shots. He was incredible. Like if you didn't know him and you didn't see him playing, you would think he had an aimbot. But there was a guy in my fraternity who used to play against him all the time, and he sucked. He wasn't very good. But for some reason, in this one game, it was a 2v2. Me and this guy beat him, and the guy had the game. We beat the player who was incredible.
Yeah,
the guy who had the game of his life. Like, for some reason, he kept getting behind the dude with the pistol and meleeing him in the back over and over again. He did it like 15 times in the game. And when it was over, he put the sticks down and he said, I beat you. I am never playing this game again. And he walked out and he never did. He never played Halo 1 again. He would come in and watch and then just tell the guy he beat him that one time and then walk out. He did that. He did that for a year and a half until Halo 2 came out.
Dude, what a psychopath.
I know, dude. He would smile. He was so happy. He was so pleased with himself every time he did it. It was like Michael Scott, like, I beat the best person here, therefore I am the ultimate champion. Yeah. People would be like, man, this dude is so good. And he'd be like, I beat him. I'm better than him. Yeah. He would say that right to his face. And he'd be like, and, the other guy would be like, 1v1 me, 1v1 me. We'll see who's better. And he'd be like,
dude, sounds like Sneed.
I'm retired.
That's Sneed. 1v1 me.
Every time, dude.
Oh, dude, you're reminding me of old Halo stories and just how like fucking the internet just was different back then. And I was living in a house with a bunch of guys, and all I remember about this house was if you spilled beer, it would like go down in one direction down the floor because the whole house was on like a slant. And
I've lived in shitholes like that.
yeah. But we had an old boxy CRT TV, and I would play Halo 2 online on that thing. And one of the funnest things we would do, because there'd be like 24 people in like a big team battle thing, and back at the time, everybody could hear everybody on both teams. And so we would hand one guy the controller, usually the guy that was really good, and then you'd hand one guy the mic. And so you'd had one person just all-time shit talker, and then the other person could focus on the game.
Oh yeah,
dude, yeah. I'd have buddies that would have me come over and play COD.
You would be the.
I did both. But they'd be like, "Hey, come over and play MW2 on Xbox with my buddies and just shit on them."
They'd be like, "No, this isn't you play. This is somebody else play." It's like, no, it's totally me.
It's a shame we don't have interactions like that anymore. That shit was fun though.
Yeah, very fun.
Yeah, no, but I remember one time in particular, I was so my brother, I was going to in college in one city, and my brother was at home with my family in another city, and we were both on Halo, talking, playing Halo 2, and my mom was trying to get in touch with me, but I wasn't answering the phone. And so she heard me in the TV playing Halo 2. And I remember she grabbed the microphone from my brother and was like, this is in the middle of a lobby with 20 dudes. My mom just gets on the mic and is like, Andrew, I need you to call me right now.
Dude.
And of course there was a silence. And one of the guys was like, dude, you better call your mom, man.
That's good shit.
Dude, I got to respond to something in the chat. Someone named Deborah Westbury is saying fraternities are cults. There was nothing cult related about a fraternity.
Yeah.
I can promise you that.
Yeah. Maybe this chick wishes she was a girl boss.
She also said that's gay, Andy Pants. I don't know what she was saying that in response to, but she's right. I don't know what it was, but
college cults.
Yeah,
I don't.
College cults. That's yeah. Fraternities were not cults, unless you were at I mean, there are fraternities that have that, but that's at I went to a state school. We're not cool enough to be in cults.
Trice was in Skull and Bones. He's been exposed live.
Yeah. I did not go to the Ivy League where they have eating clubs, and that's what they call them.
Dear God.
So weird shit there, but no, it was your typical Greek letter fraternity.
Yeah, dude. I don't know what I'm gonna do with my daughters, because apparently every college is just so fucking woke now. But I mean, it's hard to get jobs without having a college degree. So man, yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do with my daughters when they get older.
There are other routes, but a lot of it comes down to what your kids are good at and their aptitude for certain things. I mean, if your kid wants to be a teacher, they're gonna have to go to college, and that's that simple. But if they're good with their hands, or they have a technical mind, they can go and do a trade and do just as well. Even so, an associate's degree.
I don't feel like the trade suggestion works with the girls as well, though.
Yeah, it doesn't work with girls.
You can't be like, all right, sweetie, it's time for you to go switch out toilets for a living. I don't.
Yeah,
go be a plumber. Yeah.
No, it
hopefully, dude. Honestly, if she's 18 and she meets a nice young Christian man who has a fucking job, then I'll be like, okay, date this guy and get married to him, I guess, and then have kids. I'd be totally happy with that,
Yeah, the girl meta is just to marry a guy who has money.
Or just I'm totally fine with my daughters not I don't want my daughters to be girl bosses and be like, I'm going to be a career
woman,
career woman. That's bullshit. There's nothing wrong with just being no, I want to be a mom,
Look,
college degrees aren't even worth shit anymore, and the debt is crazy. It's only getting worse.
True. Yeah,
absolutely. True. I mean, you can get rid of a lot of the indoctrination by basically just going to whatever college you can get in-state tuition at and commuting. A lot of the worst stuff is avoided that way.
Yeah.
Especially if you're going to like community college or something like that. I mean, for most professions, I don't know. I mean, if you're going to end up being like an executive assistant at some office, it really doesn't matter where you went.
Yeah. Okay, this guy. Wait, I know this guy. Runway 25. He said, "Best decision of my life was dropping out of university after getting screamed at for being racist for playing a Transylvanian character at a film project." Okay, you'll have to give us some more fucking details about that.
Yeah, I'd like to hear the lore on this.
Yeah.
Someone else in the chat is wondering what happened to Guitar Hero. Well, it was like a fundamentally kind of gimmicky game, and rock music generally just fell out of favor, sadly. I mean, I would love for Guitar Hero to still be around, but...
Dude, and also people quit hanging out in person.
Yeah, you know? And that was very much like a party game.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Guitar Hero was very popular in my fraternity house.
Guitar Hero used to like draw a crowd, like if you were really good. Like I used to play at like various like arcades or whatever, at like theme parks or Dave and Buster's, whatever. And like
you get a little crowd.
Oh yeah, well, because there were songs I used to be really, really good, and there were a couple songs an expert I could play blindfolded.
Huh.
So I could just play them on expert and like not look, and yeah, it would absolutely draw a crowd.
It's like the DDR you can be good at if you're fat.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's the DDR that doesn't make you look like a fucking dork.
Yeah, I feel like it's hard to be really good at DDR without looking gay.
Well, women can pull it off, and they're fine. But yeah, you see a dude who's really good at DDR, and you're like,
kind of troony. Yeah, kind of troony.
It's not
it just looks cooler.
trait.
Yeah, it looks cooler to play like the drums or the guitar or something than to be dancing in sync.
Yeah, I mean, the last masculine dancer was Fred Astaire. I can't think of another.
Someone that same guy says Guitar Hero got me laid once.
I believe that, actually.
Dude, we kept our rock band for a while, but I need to like go on eBay because I just need to get like they're already falling apart. It's like I got to get some that are in good condition, but they're out there though. If you check the retro stores, it's pretty easy to find the old instruments.
I still have my drums in the basement of my parents' house somewhere.
They're a lot more expensive than they used to be because GameStop used to have so many, and they threw so many in the garbage.
Jeez.
And especially like you want to find a good one. Like if you're playing on 360, you really want the Gibson Explorer from Guitar Hero 2. It's definitely the best and most responsive one, and it works for all the games.
Well, and also there's like nobody's making new. Am I correct that nobody's making new fucking Guitar Hero guitars?
There's a shockingly healthy little like sub community of
that's cool.
Guitar Hero streamers. Cool. So there's some custom stuff going on, but like not at like a scale now.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of these days I suggested actually, like when we were talking about starting this podcast, I was like, can we pick Guitar Hero? Like, can I get you guys to play that? Or like the instruments might be a bitch to track down.
Well, when we were talking about what games to play, I think you can like Trice, do you have a way to play NES and SNES games?
I may soon, but I don't right now. No, I mean, I guess I could, I could always emulate if I really needed to.
Yeah, we could emulate if we needed to. If Sneed picked an NES game.
Yeah, I mean, NES emulation's like perfect. It's been perfect for a long time, so it'd be easy.
Okay, Runway said, "Oh, I played a mad scientist character based on a professor I had in another college, and he freaking loved it. But my tiny hat professor in university lost her shit at me. Oh my gosh, it's always the tiny hats, isn't it?
I got kicked out of a Native American Studies class on the first day for wearing a Washington Redskins jersey to it. In college,
the bigger question is, was it taking a Native American Studies course?
Yeah, of course,
because we had certain requirements to fill, and you had to take, as part of a liberal arts degree, you have to take certain things, and they force you to take either that or women's studies or African American studies. It's a requirement; you can't evade it.
I assume you went to a public university.
I did, yes. Yeah, I went to a public state school.
I went to a big decision for me to choose a private school instead was I didn't want to do any of that.
Well, they were easy, but they were mind-numbing and retarded. So
Yeah, dude. Any public university you go to is just going to be full of gay shit. Unfortunately,
Can we talk about this guy on screen?
Bear in mind that this was also in the early 2000s. By the way, this wasn't recent. I mean, I'm old, so you know.
The guy on screen playing the game right now, he dropped like a rocket launcher with a ton of ammo for a needler. Is this guy okay? Oh, there he goes. Okay, he picked it back up.
Is this guy okay?
I was worried.
Maybe he's doing a needler run, dude.
All right. So earlier, let's get back on track here. So I think we pretty much covered like art direction. So Sneed, you wanted to talk about the art direction compared to CE Anniversary and Campaign Evolved.
Yeah, we already touched on it a bit. So we'll just, I guess, go over it again briefly. Maybe you guys have some more to say. But they really just destroyed the atmosphere. Instead of feeling like a cold, like artificial world, they completely changed like the color temperature of everything. Everything is very warm now, which is odd. It doesn't feel like it suits this game at all. Everything is also way too bright, and it completely ruins all the flood levels and like the ominous atmospheres that they're trying to go for. And it makes all the Forerunner architecture look like shiny and new rather than like ancient and alien. It's just not a good look. They clearly went in with the approach of like, oh, it's higher resolution, so it's better, or whatever.
Right.
Clearly, completely disregarding the actual art style and the purpose that it's served for the game.
Yeah, I remember noticing that and kind of like, so this is the anniversary edition or whatever, and there's everything has like more of a warmer hue to it, and it doesn't have this like cool blue tone that like pretty much all of Halo had.
Yeah, the best example I can probably think of is on the mission Halo, like right when you start, like right when you get like the lifeboat that crashed.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like you get these like cold like blue and green hues in the original, and it's all like an error in that, and it's all like orange and brown and like bright blue instead. It's just not the same.
Yeah,
it's like it goes from like a cold artificial world into like, oh, like this is somewhere in like the Western United States.
Yeah. And then now, but you thought you liked Halo 2's remaster though.
It's better than this one, and it's certainly better than the one they just came out with.
Yeah.
Anniversary is it has some of the same problems though.
Yeah.
Like it also ruins some flood atmosphere. Yeah,
and Halo 2 is on Earth.
Yeah, well, those parts are fine.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, you can see like in this footage, in the part that you were just at a second ago.
Yeah.
It just looks like a part of the Western U.S. It looks totally warm. It looks totally Earth-like, and I feel like the original clearly looks very artificial by comparison, and purposely so.
Yeah,
but Halo 2 Anniversary, I think it's a better remaster than this one and the newest remake, but it's by no means perfect. It suffers from some of the same flaws.
Yeah, dude. And I was just playing Halo 3 at 60 FPS, and like maybe I'm a total boomer, but I don't feel like they can improve Halo 3 very much. Like Halo 3 is still a fucking stunning looking game, considering that it came out in 2007. Like it still looks amazing, I think.
They should just do like a very plain remaster. Just make the game run it like just on console. I mean, PC, whatever. But make the game run in like 4K 120 and just make everything beautiful. And there's like, don't fuck with the art style. Don't make new assets. Just make it as faithful and traditional as possible. Because if they try to put their own spin on it, they're going to fuck it up. Well, but that's the direction that they're leaning. Because at the end of this new remake, it teased for a Halo 2 remake. So we're fucked.
My understanding is they're remaking 2 and 3. That's
I'm sorry, Trace. You're coming in kind of quiet for me.
Oh, sorry
say that
about
again?
that. Yeah, my understanding is they're remaking 2 and 3.
I would imagine so. Yeah.
I mean, two already got like a pretty good remake though. Three's the one they haven't remade yet.
Yeah, but they have so many girl boss characters to add.
Dude,
That's
You
true.
have no idea how many they conceived of. They only went with their S tier one. The one you're going to get in Halo 2 is going to be way worse.
And Halo
Dude.
2 and 3 have female Marines, so they're gonna up the ante.
Oh yeah.
Dude, you know 343 was pissed when Microsoft was like, "Yeah, we want you guys to remake the first 3 Halo games." Oh, don't you want us to remake 4? Nah, you can fucking keep that. We don't want 4 or 5 remade.
It's a shame. Like they're so out of ideas. They have no idea what to do. I mean, they have no idea how to continue the story for Infinite. I mean, Joseph Staten had to come back and try to like rewrite the ship as best as he could after the writings of 4 and 5, which were fucking abysmal.
You're talking about Infinite?
Yeah, but like you can only do so much. And now that he's gone again, whatever they do after Infinite is going to be legendarily stupid.
Yeah.
If they ever even get that far. I mean, with all the layoffs Xbox has seen, I cannot fucking believe 343 has been safe. They really need to get rid of them and give this IP to someone else.
Dude, you know what's funny is I don't even think the girl boss character is the worst scene in that remake. It's bad, but I think the scene where the
Covenant
prophet,
scene.
yeah, where it introduces everyone,
It's
that
so
is
gay.
the corniest fucking scene.
It's so
That was
gay.
the most like Reddit theater kid shit I've seen in a while. That was so fucking gay. And then they had that part, I think it's of the same cutscene, where it's like Chief's just like around the corner, and I don't know, Andy, maybe you can play it, but like Chief's just like around the corner, and they're all just like standing in place, like shooting at him, and the elite's not even shooting in the right direction. And then
Dude,
like,
it's like
they have like Chief like fire like at them, and like he's using like a battle rifle, and like the first burst absolutely hits one of the grunts, but it just goes through him and doesn't actually do anything. And then the second one lands, and I was like, did they even watch these? Did they made them?
dude, I saw somebody took it and put the music for like the intro of a basketball team behind it. And
like Harlem Globetrotters.
no, you know, like when you go to like an NBA basketball team and they introduce every player, but they're playing that dumb like it's
that
like,
guitar riff. I know what you're talking about. It's like
that guitar riff. Exactly.
Yeah.
somebody on X put that song behind it, and it's perfect because it's that gay.
So gay.
Yeah, it's terrible.
All right, dudes. I realize we have like basically not talked about the story in this game at all. So, Trice, you said why Master Chief Cortana and the Space Marines were such cool characters at the time, and why they've only been able to make them less cool as time goes on. This will probably be touched on in the controversy. But why do you think that is?
Well, it's because in storytelling, sometimes less is more, right? You allow the audience's imagination to create a lot of the mystique around certain characters.
Mm-hmm.
So the mystique around Master Chief, the more you learn about him, the less your imagination can create.
Right.
So
like with the TV show that you saw his face and then he had sex and it's like, oh, this sucks.
Yeah. I mean, that's weird. I didn't see it, but yeah, I would have thought that was weird if I saw it. I don't know. I heard who was making it and I stayed away. But this is sort of a lost art of storytelling, and it's the same in Onimusha, right? Like less is more. You know, show us how a character is cool. Don't tell us, right? Like allow the character.
Which should be the case for all visual mediums, by the way. This also applies to movies and TV.
Absolutely.
You don't want just blatant exposition constantly.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I feel like that really undermines like your intelligence as a player or a viewer.
So I think that's part of it. And you know, Cortana, she's the perfect the perfect partner for the strong silent type. She's a little bit more punchy with her dialogue. Yeah. But it's never over the top. It's never too much.
Yeah.
You know, it's just enough that you know that this AI has a little bit of a personality, right? And that's cool.
Yeah.
But once she becomes like the never-ending stream of consciousness blabber in your ear, that's not cool. That's annoying, and you don't want that. So I think we've lost that. It's like now they tell us how cool the characters are, and you're supposed to just believe it.
Yeah, and I always liked how Master Chief and Cortana did sort of match the male female dynamic really well. Like he's down in the dirt, like making shit happen, and she's like, "Oh wait, let's think about this," and like. He's like, well, I'm out here hustling and like doing shit and blowing shit up. And it's a great dynamic. It's a very natural like dynamic that you see in marriages and between man and woman, and I mean the romance thing between them was taken too far and was complete ass in Halo 4. But and that was another thing that I didn't like about the end of Halo 3 is the thing Chief says at the end of Halo 3 is basically wake me up when there's a mission, because he goes to cryo sleep at the end of Halo 3 and he says, wake me up when there's a mission. He needs a mission. He needs a purpose. And that was why Halo 4 was so retarded. Like, it's like, what is our mission? Getting back to Earth. We activated this ring. Oh shit, there's a didact inside of it. Like, I don't know. There's just a lot of issues with it. But what else from the story of this game did y'all feel like was particularly successful?
Can I add one more thing? About
yeah. Sorry. Go ahead. Yeah.
Master Chief and Cortana. I think the interesting thing is there's sort of like an interplay with the fact that Master Chief, although he's a human, he's in some ways less human than Cortana, right? And I think that's interesting because Cortana she's a little bit more lively. She has more, I wouldn't say personality, because Master Chief has a lot of personality, but his personality is to be silent and in some ways almost robotic.
Mm-hmm.
And she is a lot more gregarious, and
he's more of a John Wayne type.
Yeah, so you end up with the AI who, in some ways, presents as more human than the human who's been turned into essentially a cyborg like super soldier. So it's an interesting dichotomy, and it's something that they played with really well in this game without telling you that that's what they were doing. And that's the problem, is later there would be some character who would be like, you're more of a robot than Cortana is, and that's the problem.
Did somebody say that? I don't know.
But I mean, that's
that.
that's what modern writing is.
Kind of. They did that in 4 at the end.
Oh God.
Where Chief was just like, oh, I don't know, like who's more the machine? Like, I don't know. They kind of tried to do that.
See, so I mean, that's the issue. Is that like these are the sorts of things that are better off like hinted at without ever being expressed, right?
Yeah.
It makes for more interesting storytelling.
Steve, thoughts on the story?
I think the story of Combat Evolved is quite good. I think, I mean, you can correct me if I'm wrong, because I was quite young when this game came out, but they didn't market any of the Flood stuff at all leading up to this game, did they?
No, they hid it on purpose.
I thought so.
Yeah.
And my friend, when I first played it, hid it from me when we did it co-op for my first playthrough. And so I was like, what the fuck? Like that is such a cool twist. And then Guilty Spark, like getting you to activate the ring, and then Cortana's like, it's going to kill everybody. Like, you can't do that. That was a great twist. There's a lot of stuff that they did really well in that regard. When I had my best friend who was like just a PlayStation guy, like for his whole life, so he'd never played Halo. When I got him to switch to Xbox One with me, I had him play MCC. I had him get it, and we played through this game together. And I didn't tell him either, and he was like, "What the fuck?" Like, he didn't see it coming at all. I think this campaign is very well written. It does a lot of show and only does the exposition when it needs to.
Yeah.
And I have zero critiques for the way that this game handled story. I think it was very masterful.
Yeah. And I think it's like a nice, simple story. You're kind of with one character the whole time. But and I think Halo 2 has an even better story because it shows you these kind of two viewpoints of like Chief. You're cutting back and forth between Chief and the Arbiter, and the whole religious element of Halo 2 isn't really, you don't really see that in this game. You just know that they want to go on the great journey and they want the Halo and they want to use it for the great journey, but you don't get the like the religious
you don't understand like the context, like the ins and outs of like what that means exactly.
Yeah.
And then Halo 2 like really like fleshed all that out and really expanded on it. And that dual perspective, which I remember was pretty controversial back then. I remember a lot of people saying like, oh, you don't get to play as Chief the whole time. This game sucks. I remember that very distinctly. And I was like, firstly, Arbiter is fucking awesome. Being able to play as the Covenant, and you know, you get the cloak and stuff, that's amazing. You get like all this like background detail and like this really interesting story from the Covenant perspective. I thought that only added to the game. I thought it was amazing.
Yeah, and then anybody who was pissed off about that in Halo 3, and dude, playing it, seeing it with my own eyes, I was so stoked at the end of Halo 2 when so Halo 2 ends with I think you're the Arbiter and you've taken control of a Banshee. And what's the huge Covenant Walker thing called? The Scarab.
Yeah, you're guiding Johnson driving the Scarab.
Right. You're guiding Johnson driving the Scarab, and then you fight like the brute war chief or whatever, and then
Tartarus,
Tartarus. And then Miranda Keyes has this like kind of girl bossy moment where she like almost saves the day, and she's like, but it's like, okay, whatever, we'll let that pass. But it's like really tense at the end of Halo 2, and you beat the guy, and then I had completely forgotten, oh shit, Chief is aboard the ship, and then Halo 2 ends with Chief like going right into the Earth, being like, "Oh, I'm going to finish the fight." It's like, "Oh fuck!" I can only imagine being a kid and being like, "You have to wait 3 years to find out what happened to Chief." Like, dude,
I was like 9 years old. That was my own little 9/11. Like, what do you mean this game ends on a cliffhanger? You can't do this to me.
Dude, making kids wait for 3 years to see what happens to Master Chief in Halo 3.
I think that's part of my resentment for 3 is I feel like I waited all that time as a kid, and I didn't think 3's campaign, especially story-wise, lived up to 2.
But you didn't have a 360, so like, how is this even? I don't trust your opinion though. Because here's what I think happened. I think you played Halo 3 at somebody's house.
It was a huge event.
You played it at somebody's house, and you didn't play it firsthand. If you had played, dude, Halo 3 is an incredible campaign.
No, that's possibly crazy because I first played Halo 1 and 2 co-op. Those were my first experience with it.
Halo 3 is like, I think probably the best, maybe the best campaign of the 3 games. It's incredible.
We'll have to tackle 3 one of these days as like the game that we pick, and we're gonna have to like go at it. I'll bring all the big guns to this one,
dude. I mean, just it's like Halo 3 is like, oh shit, Bungie has money now, and it's just fucking amazing. So
I love 3 also.
Yeah. But yeah, and then also speaking of Halo 2, I love how 343 Guilty Spark is fooling. He's Khan Chief in the part where Cortana is away, and the same shit happens with Arbiter. But you as the viewer are the only person who knows that. The same thing happens with Arbiter in Halo 2. So it's like, 343 Guilty Spark always becomes this guy who like tells people what he wants to hear. And in Halo 2, he's like, oh shit, you believe some religious bullshit. Okay, I'm gonna use this to my advantage in Halo 2. But dude, the way Bungie built on Halo 1, 2, and 3, and the way they expanded the story each time, and you get to Halo 3 and you find out, oh, there's this machine called the Ark that makes rings. And then there's a bunch of rings. It's like, I mean, I guess that's the only place you could go. You have one ring that destroys the universe. Well, just kidding. There's a bunch of rings that destroy the universe.
Well, they actually say just the galaxy. So if they were trying to cleanse multiple galaxies, they would have multiple rings.
Right. Yeah, because a Halo ring, well, in Halo 1, they make it sound like the ring would destroy like all life.
In the galaxy, they say
Well,
that
they say
specifically.
that each ring has a range of 25,000 light years, and that once the first one's activated, the other ones follow suit.
Yep.
Right.
And it's basically it's all to stop the flood, right? So
Yeah, the whole thing was like, oh, we're gonna stop. The only way to stop the flood is to kill their food source, which means killing all life in the galaxy, so that they have nothing to feed on it, which is crazy.
yeah,
Right.
I mean,
And
what stakes are higher than that?
yep.
yeah. Dude, and yeah, and what a badass enemy. I mean, like a terrifying enemy of in the flood.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it once again very similar to StarCraft, but
Yeah. And the way you have to team up with like the grave mine at the end of Halo 3 to fucking you know, because you'll have this common enemy now. Yeah, so the other thing I wanted to ask y'all about is I guess we already covered how if the game feels incomplete or not, right? Kind of already covered that, I think.
yeah, I mean, yeah, Sneed said to him the level design felt a little rudimentary, and that
Yeah.
was probably where
You-
it was incomplete.
Well, the devs themselves said that too. Yeah, that they
Yeah.
focused on gameplay in those
Yeah.
like pivotal hours towards the end.
I'll
rather
tell you
than
this:
polishing up some of the levels.
as a player, I never noticed it was incomplete. You know, looking back on it now, yeah, maybe some of those levels feel a little bit mailed in, but overall, I didn't notice when I was playing it.
Yeah.
I mean,
I guess another thing I wanted to talk about. We haven't talked too much, Sneed, about because Sneed, you did play 4 and 5, right?
Yeah, I played every mainline Halo except
Yeah.
for this new one that just came out.
What do you think was the like as far as like the story and the lore? Where was the downfall with 343?
With 343 specifically,
Yeah, what did
their
what
first
did they
outing for?
right, but like on the story though, like I guess you know they added run, everybody hated that, but what else did you hate about?
Well, they ruined the lore. You know, because
How
the whole
so?
lore is that the Forerunners were human, and that's why the humans are the Reclaimers.
Right.
And then they made the Forerunners like their own distinct thing, and then like in
Right.
order to get background, like more background on the Forerunners, you had to get the little like terminal things to
Right.
like display cutscenes and shit. I don't know. Like
Yeah.
they fucked up the entire story. Like you can think about like Halo 2 towards the end where like Tartarus is holding like Miranda keys and he's just like take the index in your hand and like activate the rings or whatever because they can't do it themselves because the humans are the descendants of the Forerunners.
Right.
But now like that's completely destroyed. And there was a piece of Halo 2 that was cut towards the end where Arbiter finds, you guys might know this, where Arbiter finds like a what is it, like a mausoleum or something, like a coffin of like a Forerunner, and it's a human skeleton.
It's a human, yeah.
And that's like part of his like revelation there. But
Yeah.
like that's been completely destroyed by 343.
Yeah, and I was watching a video about this, and if you look closely at the dialogue in 3, it implies that humans are the Forerunners throughout Halo 3.
it implies it in 1.
Yeah. Wait, now, but why don't the Covenant turn around and worship the humans then? Because they talk about what a boner they have for the Forerunners.
Because their whole religion is a bullshit power play from the prophets.
That's
and
good.
So like, yeah, if everyone were to know, then the prophets would completely lose their power. They'd be deposed. And
I see. The prophets are hiding the fact that humans are the Forerunners.
Because the humans would become the Forerunner or the prophets, right? At that point, because they would have to worship the humans instead of listening to the prophets.
Yeah. Instead, they just made the Forerunners these weird Voldemort ass looking things. They made the Forerunners. Yeah.
Yeah. They've ruined like the lore from its inception. Like they just completely destroyed this fucking story. They did the whole like Cortana rampancy thing, which was fucking gay. They kind of made it like a romance too, which is weird. And then 5, like Cortana's like fully crazy and doing the whole like Guardians thing, and then you play
And
as,
Chief's
Locke.
like a bad guy. Chief's like a bad guy in Halo 5 for most of it.
Yeah, you have to play as like Locke and his squad to like take down the chief, and they do like the gayest fist fight I've ever seen in my fucking life. It's a disaster. Like, and people can shit on Infinite Story, and I think that's fine.
Mhm.
But Infinite was, we have to remember, Infinite was made with 4 and 5 still being canon, and you can only do so much with that canon.
Yeah.
So I think for what they had to work with, I think Infinite was good. Could it have been better? Yeah, but for it to have been better, 4 and 5 would have to be completely thrown out.
Yeah. 4 and 5 were like the biggest quote revelations were like in the volumes and volumes that those boring ass forerunners would tell you in Halo 4 and 5 and Infinite. And it's like, I'm sure there was a cool story in there somewhere, but back to your point, Halo is show, don't tell. I mean, good storytelling is show, don't tell. And they expected, it's like, 343 is like, oh, it's in the books and all this stuff.
That
And,
was another problem, is they really relied on like extra material like outside of the FPS games to like fully understand. Or even like in Infinite, it's like the like Atriox or whatever. It's like, if you hadn't played like Halo Wars 2, or maybe he's in books, and I have not read them.
He's in
But,
Halo
like,
Wars too, yeah.
Yeah, but if you hadn't played Halo Wars 2, you'd be like, who the fuck is Atriox? Who's the Banish, and why is this important? And
Yeah.
that's not a good approach.
Yeah. And Bungie said themselves that the games take precedence over the books,
Which is the right decision.
I'll say this. I watched a video actually this week. Somebody put out about lore slop, and it kind of spoke to this. It's this concept that like a lot of games make up for not having a story by just packing it with lore instead of having an actual story. And one of the games they pointed to, and people are going to get mad about this, but it's Dark Souls, because the only way you're going to get story in Dark Souls is by reading item descriptions, which is a very strange thing to do.
Yeah.
Like, is it written on the item? How are you learning this? It doesn't make any sense.
But nobody cares about Dark Souls for the story, probably.
Oh, no, dude, come on.
There are so many fucking Dark Souls lore videos out
Yes.
But I guess what I'm saying though is like, you can perfectly enjoy Dark Souls without giving a fuck about the story.
That's
100%.
fine, but what I'm getting at is if you enjoy Dark Souls that way, you're enjoying it for the combat, because there is no story. Primarily, I mean,
right. Well, there is no story in the sense that there's no cutscenes, there's no force-fed story. Like, you have to discover it in item descriptions. You have to discover the story.
You get a little bit, like you get that cutscene, like at we'll say Dark Souls 1, like you get that cutscene like at the beginning, talking to NPCs, like you do get some story. Like you start off in Dark Souls 1, and like after the tutorial, you get to Firelink Shrine, like the main hub of the game, and you talk to the guy sitting there, the crestfallen warrior, and he gives you like your first like goals of the game, right? He tells you like, oh, like you have to like ring to break this like undead curse, whatever. Like you have to first start with like ringing the 2 bells, like one at the top of the undead burg, and like the other one in Blighttown, like down below. You'll get that kind of stuff, but you won't be able to understand like, who the fuck is Ornstein and Smo, before like walking into the boss room and seeing some fat guy with a hammer, and then some asshole with like armor and a spear. Like that you wouldn't know.
Yeah. So I mean, that's my point, is that like relying on these outside sources of lore in a game or even lore that's buried in like odd pickups or stuff like that like, aren't a part of the game itself, like the direct, just playing the game and learning. That's not storytelling. That's like, I don't know, that's odd obfuscation. I don't really understand what's going on there.
Someone in the chat pointed out that Destiny also did this.
I know.
Like the Grimoire cards or whatever.
Grimoire cards, yeah.
My main issue with that was simply that the Grimoire cards weren't in the fucking game itself. You had to like log into like Bungie's website or some shit.
Neither are the books. Neither are the Halo books. So like, that's the point, right? Is that like all this stuff is extra material, right? It's outside the game.
Right. It shouldn't be external to the product itself.
Yeah, and even then, I think item descriptions is a lazy way to get story across. But that's
yeah, and Halo 4 was I'm okay with story being optional for like those who want it, those who want to seek it out. But Halo 4 was the worst of both worlds because they were like, we're gonna dump our entire story through the exposition of one character who sits there and talks to you. It's like, fuck, that is the worst way to tell a story.
no, a worse way is a giant paragraph attached to an item. That's worse.
No, because that's optional. I can perfectly enjoy Dark Souls without. In Halo 4, they make you sit there and listen to it.
You can press a button to skip it.
Yeah, but then you can't go back to it. At least with an item description, you can view it at any time.
I guess. I still think it's
I think the item description thing is interesting, but it's obviously very overdone since they've made a ton of Souls games at this point.
Yeah, I don't mind when there's like an occasional book you pick up in a game that you read and you read like 2 or 3 pages of it and it has like an interesting like lore piece, but that's a book. Like where is this information coming from on the sword you picked up? It makes no sense.
We just got another super chat.
Yes, Agent Nova said, "Yo, Andy Pants, love your vids, man. You one of the most chillest YouTubers. Appreciate it, bro. Respect, man. Heart, solid take on games. W, man. We need you. Thanks, friend."
That'll really help to counterbalance Andy when I shit on him later. Call him slurs or whatever.
Yeah,
he's gonna frame that super chat and put it on his wall when he's having a bad day.
Yeah,
He'll just he'll press his hand to it.
Yeah, that was the other thing about Infinite. Like, I can tell you from characters, like I pretty easily remember the entire story of Halo 1, 2, and 3 because of like the plot beats are very simple and memorable. And I remember I was watching a video of Bungie devs. They were talking about demo testing the Halo games, and people needed to be reminded of the story because people would forget the story in the middle of the game. And I do not remember anything about like Halo Infinite had a fun sandbox. You were on the ring, you were kind of going from area to area and doing shit, and the sandbox was fine. But I can't tell you anything about the fucking story of Halo Infinite. I think it's because that guy Atriox was boring as hell, just such a like boring, safe bad guy, and yeah, there was just like nothing memorable about the story of Halo Infinite.
I think that there's a lot of truth to what you're saying, but also to play devil's advocate, how many times have you played Halo 1, 2, and 3 compared to how many times you've done a full playthrough of Infinite? I would imagine you probably played through Infinite maybe once or twice compared to like 100 for the other ones.
I actually haven't played this game 100 times. I hadn't played it for quite a few years until we just played it recently. But it's just like each cutscene in the game, like the cutscenes in this game are so lean and they do such heavy lifting from like a story perspective, and it's like fucking dude. Do you even remember what the story was about in Halo Infinite?
Well, I also only played through it one time. I did like everything. I pretty much 100% of the game, except for I think a couple skulls I didn't get.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mostly remember like them being lost in the ring, like UNSC forces are like cut off and scattered. The Banished have taken over the ring, and you have like this new AI, the weapon, and you're like basically trying to like find things out about like what happened like with Cortana. You're also finding about like this new enemy they added, the Endless, which they didn't delve into because the campaign expansions were canceled. Because I remember when they were marketing Halo Infinite, they're like, this game is going to be like supported for 10 years. It's going to be a decade-long Halo. How did that end up going? Maybe if you had a competent studio, that might be more viable. But clearly not. But I would have loved to see what had happened after.
Well, it's like I think you think about the story of Halo 1, and it's like you've got all these missions on the Halo ring, and then 343 Guilty Spark, you go to the swamp, and then you go down, and there's this like aliens type scene where you have all the found footage of the cameras of the guys that died, and then you encounter the flood, and it's like it's Halo Infinite, it's like there was a team developing the gameplay over here, and there was a team developing the story, and there was no like they weren't talking at all. They were just like, it's like I don't know. It just felt like gameplay and story did not go hand in hand in Halo Infinite.
It also felt a lot more like a solo adventure. Like you don't have like, Johnson, and obviously Johnson died in 3, but like you don't have like a Johnson type character to show up and
right
say cool shit and kind of brighten everything. Like you don't have a lot of those like dynamic moments. It's like all gameplay.
Yeah, and dude, and playing a little bit of 4 and 5 recently, I think the military tone of like the backdrop of the military conflict in Halo is what gives its identity even more so than Chief, or maybe equally as much as Chief. Because why is Chief such a badass? Chief is such a badass because he's in the midst of this military conflict with all these human Marines, and he is like head and shoulders cooler than all of them. So you need the military conflict to kind of ground you emotionally in the situation. Like, humans are dying, humans are losing their lives, like all these Marines, all these people are dying, they're getting blown up, they're getting destroyed, but you, Master Chief, are surviving. And it's like, you didn't have that in Halo 4. There's very little of the UNSC, and Halo 4 and Halo 5, like there's no like military conflict. And it's like right from the beginning of Halo 1, you're rescuing Marines on the ring. And
4 has the issue. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Well, 4 has the issue of like the Covenant are there, but have no reason to actually be there. They just go like, oh, I guess there's some like splinter faction. When Chief goes like, I thought the Covenant was like not a thing anymore, and they're just like, oh, it must be a splinter faction, whatever. Like, they just hand wave it, and I'm like, you can't just fucking do that. Like that's the dumbest shit ever. And then like the stuff with the UNSC, like they made like the captain like a villain, Del Rio, which by the way, Del Rio was completely vindicated because he was like, yeah, Cortana's going crazy and she's like really powerful. Like she needs to be like checked out or decommissioned or whatever. Like we got to figure this out. And Chief was just like directly like disobeying and said no.
Oh, because he was simping. Because he was simping for Cortana.
He was simping, absolutely.
Yeah.
And we saw like what had happened with like everything in 5 and 6, 6 being Infinite.
Yeah.
And so, Del Rio is supposed to be like the bad guy, completely vindicated.
He's totally right.
Right about everything.
He's totally right. Del Rio was right about everything.
Del Rio is the based unsung hero from Halo 4. 343's best character by far.
Because he called out that Cortana was evil.
Yeah, he called out that like shit can go very, very wrong with how she was acting.
Right. Yeah.
And clearly it did, because in like the in Infinite, like it said that like, oh, like Cortana like had all these like guardians, and she basically was like the totalitarian dictator of like the entire like galaxy. I'm like, well, if you guys had listened to Del Rio, I think it'd be fine right now.
Yeah. And I really hate how in like I said earlier, three ends with Chief, going to cryo sleep and saying, like, basically, wake me up when you need me. And she just fucking wakes him up just because she wants to get home to, the UNSC or the human colony, I guess. And it's like,
doesn't she wake him up because they're being boarded by Covenant?
Yeah. Okay. I think you're right. But what is their goal? Their goal is just, we need to get back to Earth. Yeah. And then in the midst of trying to get back to Earth, he accidentally opens this shit that had the didact in it. And it's just such a fucking stupid story. And, but it's like, Chief and Cortana, the original games, it wasn't about this lovey relationship between them. They were like more like partners. Like he's a military soldier. She's a military AI, and he was protecting her. But I think, you do see the love relationship, I guess, a little bit in Halo 3, and then it gets really bad in Halo 4, and then, she goes nuts in Halo 5. But yeah, to your point, the original relationship of Chief and Cortana was they were more like partners trying to fight the Covenant and not like people who were simping for each other.
I don't even really have a problem with some sort of odd affection developing between those two characters. That doesn't bother me. I mean, that's something you can explore reasonably, but I just don't think they did. I think the end of Halo 3 is obvious that they're like, okay, well, the next Halo is going to be a new story, right?
Yeah.
Wake Me Up When I Have a Mission is saying, okay, hey, when you guys have written a new story,
Right.
bring me back. That's what that's saying.
Yeah.
And the problem is the new story was shit.
Was shit. Yeah.
It was shit.
Yeah.
So, I mean, from then on, Halo became something completely different. It's garbage. They just wrote a bad news story. So you can really look at Halo in two parts. It's 3 and everything before it, and then everything that came after 3, right?
Yeah.
In chronological order. I don't mean because obviously they released prequels.
You don't.
Stuff.
Yeah, you don't mean in like game release order.
No.
Just
Yeah,
chronologically.
I mean like chronological story order. So that's sort of like the that's chapter 1 is all of that is 3 back, and then chapter 2 is everything after that. And or maybe there's maybe you can break that up into the stuff after 3 into different chapters further than that. But I think the first part ending in 3 is all one story, right? Basically.
Yeah. Okay. So we're getting towards the end here, and I have my hottest, probably my most unpopular take, which is I think so I like the grunt design. I like the grunt design and the jackals and the covenants, but they were characters designed for the limitations of the original Xbox. And I found myself when Halo, so I had played a bunch of Call of Duty games, and then Halo Reach came out. And and then I saw that badass Halo Reach live action trailer. And I found myself wishing that Halo had become more gritty and more like military. But at the same time, I'm torn because I understand that, like, we were talking about how readable the grunts and the elites are as enemies. They're fun to fight because they're so readable, and you can and the Halo 4 race sucks for that same reason. So I want y'all to imagine a future where we got a gritty, instead of Halo Reach with grunts and elites and bright colors like we did, like every Halo game. Does Halo completely lose its identity if it became more like gritty and realistic?
I don't see why it would. I mean, this game was, I mean, are you talking about gritty and realistic in tone or like in like visuals or both?
Do you remember that like live action Neil Blomkamp Halo movie where it was a bunch of like Marines and that warthog driving around?
I don't think so.
Well, it's like there's been a couple people made like live action Halo trailers that were like,
you're talking about like photorealistic graphics.
No, it was like they filmed a bunch of dudes.
No, but I'm saying if Halo had photorealistic graphics where it looked like, I mean, is that what you're talking about?
I think it's like if Halo got away from the bright colors and the bright purples and greens and glowing greens, because this was an Xbox game. It needed to be colorful because it was an original Xbox game.
But I mean, like energy weapons would be colorful,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I guess I'm asking the question, if Halo had gone in a grittier direction, is it just going to become a Call of Duty clone and become boring like everything else? Do y'all think like it wouldn't even be a Halo game if it became grittier?
Well, no, I've been actively like pushing for Halo to become more gritty, do like a very gritty like side story. Like if you guys remember from like the Halo Reach campaign, like the portions where you're in like this like city area, I don't know if it had a name,
Yeah.
When you're in the city area and you can
Yeah.
see like you can see the Covenant like massacring civilians and shit.
Yeah, I
You could
love that,
totally
dude. I
explore
love
something
that.
like that. That really like ups the ante. So, but I've been advocating for this IP to be stripped from 343 and given to id Software for a while now.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can imagine something, gritty and bloody, whatever. Like,
Yeah.
think of like if the Doom 2016 devs made Halo, I think that'd be cool. Or I mean, Xbox owns Infinity Ward. I don't know. I don't think they're gonna want to scrap like the Premier COD studio, but you could
Right.
have them do something like that. But I think it would be cool. I don't think it would take away from it at all. I mean, and even when this game launched, I mean, it was pretty close to photorealistic. I mean, this was a very, very good looking game for the time.
For the time. Yeah, yeah.
It doesn't look photorealistic now, but there was everyone who's been gaming for a long time can always remember like, holy shit, like the faces on the characters in GoldenEye, gaming will never get better looking than this. Like that was always a thing. We all did it,
Right.
but
We peaked. GoldenEye faces. We peaked with
GoldenEye
GoldenEye faces. Yeah.
I think that I don't think the tone of the game changing to gritty would be a problem. I think if you lost, the elements of it that give it its own identity,
Yeah.
in the art style, I do think that it would suffer for that.
Yeah.
I really do. But I mean, who knows?
I guess
it's fallen so far at this point.
Right. They should at least, yeah.
That maybe a reboot is necessary.
Yeah.
Take the story 200 years in the future or something, and you have a new Master Chief, or maybe it's the same Master Chief, but there's a time skip. I don't know. But
okay, so Tom, a friend of the channel, Tom just asked, can you guys explain how Halo ODST and Halo Reach aren't gritty? I'll tell you how they're not gritty. And I'm sorry to compare this game to COD, but in 2010, I was playing Call of Duty Black Ops. That game is gritty as fuck, as are all the Call of Duty games from that time period. So you come to Halo and you get the Halo identity, which inherently feels less gritty to me than Call of Duty. And I'm trying to figure out, it's not that I want Halo to be Call of Duty. It's more just that I want I think when Reach came out, I wanted like a gritty Call of Duty. I wanted a gritty Halo, and it just felt like I don't know, it just still felt like a Halo game to me, which inherently is not gritty.
Wow. See, I don't know. I thought Reach was fairly gritty for a Halo game at the time.
Dude, the Flood. I mean, the Flood is gritty. The Flood is scary as hell.
Yeah, I mean, the Flood is sort of it's like a sci-fi horror thing.
Dude,
I mean,
maybe it's just
Halo
the
is
grunt.
kind of gritty. Like,
Yeah, maybe
Reach and ODST are fairly gritty, I would say. But I think Andy's not saying that they're not gritty, but I think he just wants to like up the ante a bit. He wants like World at War gritty, which is a different level.
It's a different level of gritty. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, maybe it might be that grunts are what is killing Halo for me, because I like fighting grunts and everything, but they just feel a bit like kitty. They feel like a cartoon character in a game.
See, here's the issue. I think that you have trouble with things that are fantastical to a degree. Because because earlier you were talking about how why aren't there human enemies? You just want Master Chief to massacre humans, and there's blood everywhere.
Dude, why isn't Chief but bad humans? Like, why can't Chief kill humans?
Because that's not his job.
Dude,
not a look. You want to play Halo Street Cop, all right?
Halo Street.
You want to play RoboCop, dude? You want a gritty RoboCop game where you get to go shoot, where you get to go murder some guy who shoplifted. That's what you want.
Why didn't Chief get to kill the insurrectionists? Or I know Chief isn't in Reach. Why didn't the Spartans get to kill the insurrectionists in Halo Chief in Halo Reach?
Because I think the insurrection happened before Reach.
But that's gay. That's such a cop out. Like, let me kill a human in a Halo game.
Well, you got that guy that shoots at you in this game in Combat Evolved.
Yeah,
And Tilted Spark.
I melee.
Oh yeah, he's a Marine. Yeah, there's one Marine who shoots at you.
In the new version, they made it so when you kill him, you get a skull. So instead of like something that's supposed to be like kind of shocking and like what
Yeah.
the fuck, he just turns in like they just turn him into like a pinata.
They play it for
Yeah.
laughs.
Play it for laughs.
Yep. They
Oh,
play a PTSD'd Marine for laughs.
oh, dude.
That's millennial writing right there.
Yikes. Okay, this is a good poll. Somebody said you've got the police officer in the tunnels in Halo ODST. Do you fight him?
I think on Legendary only. Yeah, he'll like tell you that he's like a corrupt cop or whatever, and he'll turn on you, and you have to kill him.
Yeah.
But
All
Andy
right.
just wants all his games to be like super violence and super death. If it has anything wholesome or funny, he's out. It's like, no, this.
Yeah, dude, it's true. You got Sneed over here choosing to play Pokemon last night instead of playing Call of Duty with the boys.
That's so true.
Yeah, I don't. It's true. I do not like wholesome stuff in video games. See, I play games to be an edgelord and do edgy stuff. And so if you got like a dinosaur that I'm supposed to catch and put inside of a ball, that's gay to me.
All right, so I've firstly cringe. Pokemon's based. Secondly,
Pokemon's based.
at least the classic ones are amazing. First like 4 gens are incredible. But let's before we wrap up, I have one more question for you guys, and it relates to what we're talking about.
Yeah.
So I already talked about id Software or something like that. If you were to give this IP to any other currently existing studio as they stand now, not like Golden Age BioWare or anything, but like as they stand now, who would you give this IP to?
I mean, yeah, id you brought id is probably gay now, but you brought up a great one with id Software.
Well, I think with the layoffs, they said that they basically have their Doom 2016 team back.
Oh, dude!
I think a lot of the people that made Eternal and Dark Agents are gone.
They said
bummer.
They said that the size is similar. I don't know if it's the composition.
I think I saw clarification that it's both.
Oh, okay. Well, if that's the case, then I can't think of it.
I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's what I saw.
Yeah, I think we all know what Andy's going to say. He wants Infinity Ward Halo.
No, that's a Sneed answer.
No, but it would be fine, I guess. I mean, honestly, I'd rather they create a new studio from the top down and pick somebody to head it who is a giant Halo fan of the early Halos and wants to continue that legacy. I think that would be the best way to go. I don't necessarily think gifting it to somebody else to turn it into like a skinned version of the shit that they make is a great idea either, because I think Halo needs to maintain its identity. Although now that it's been ported over to Unreal Engine, I think that's probably a lost cause anyway.
I think that's a fair take, but if you had to pick, if you had to give it to somebody, who would you? Someone in the chat.
I guess
that's not
FromSoft. First person FromSoft game where you kill grunts.
Well, they did make
running at 20 FPS max.
What did they made that mech game? What was it?
Oh, they make
Mech Warrior or
no, not Mech Warrior.
Armored Core.
Armored
Core. They made Armored Core, and it looked damn good. And I think that making Armored Core shows that they will be respectful to something's identity. So I actually don't think that's a terrible pull. Whoever said that, I think.
But is that your pick?
No, my pick's probably id, just because of their experience with first-person shooters. But I don't think that From Software is a bad answer.
I think if I didn't go with id and I answered this question like in a vacuum, I could probably say Capcom.
Ooh.
Huh? Yeah, that's not a bad
Capcom's
idea.
been on fire for a while.
Dude,
What was the last first-person shooter Capcom made?
Resident Evil.
Yeah, I don't really like the way
Resident Evil.
Imagine
8.
how the Resident Evil devs could handle the reveal of the Flood.
Oh, dude,
Come on.
that's a good.
I
That's
mean,
a
it
good
would-
call.
It would
That's
be
a good
cool.
call.
It would be cool. I mean,
And
I
they have some
really,
sci-fi experience. They made like
It-
Lost Planet and shit like that.
Dude, it'd make it basically like a horror game. Dude, I would love to
I-
play horror Halo. That sounds fun as shit.
I am
Like
a
where you're playing as like a
Capcom.
Marine against the flood.
Yeah.
I am
Yeah.
a Capcom simp, but I still don't. I don't know. You know who I would what I would love to see Capcom make is a Parasite Eve game. That would be amazing.
But who's your pick? You're avoiding it.
I did. I said id.
Oh, you
I
said it. Okay,
yeah, I
sorry.
said it.
Okay. Okay. I'm ready. I'm ready for mine. I thought about this a lot. You do kill humans as chief.
Here we go.
I want
He wants to make Robo Slop, dude.
no, I want the developer of Ready or Not, the game where you're an FBI guy and you just kill pedophiles.
This is the most Andy answer I've ever heard in my fucking life.
Bro. Do you even like Halo?
No, I do. Okay, the interesting thing about Halo is like I acknowledge that the gameplay is amazing and superior, but I don't. As I'm getting older, I don't like all the bright colors anymore. Like it just feels a bit kiddie to me sometimes, and I want like a gritty Halo where like you kill humans. Like,
In a lot of
That's
ways, I
not
kinda feel
Halo,
the
dude.
opposite
This
of
is
it.
a sci-fi shooter.
right, that's a good point. Maybe it's not Halo anymore when you kill humans as chief.
When you're playing as ODST SWAT simulator. Like I don't know about that.
Ooh, dude, imagine playing as a SWAT team, but you're in Master Chief armor. That sounds dope.
Dude, you
It's
want
fun,
a
it's like not even close to Halo now.
I'm telling you, dude,
Not
you want a
even close
RoboCop
to
game.
Halo.
You want a RoboCop game. That's
Oh,
what
and
you
I
want.
love the RoboCop game. Yeah, but no. Okay, but imagine we somehow keep the Halo identity of big open areas, lots of emergent gameplay, lots of like fun enemy types, but keep it gritty somehow. I don't know how you do that, but
I mean,
and you're
I
right. Maybe it's not
personally-
Halo anymore. It's probably not Halo anymore.
I personally love the fantastical elements. So, I mean, for me, I like sci-fi. I mean, I'm a huge fan, and to me, Halo, the story really falls into the category of what I would call hard sci-fi in a sense, which is the grittier end of sci-fi. Things like Starship Troopers or the Forever War, books that I've really loved. So.
but
And I don't mean the movie Starship Troopers, which was meant to shit on the book. So,
But how is Halo hard sci-fi? I mean, you got little grunts running around throwing grenades and like talking in a high voice.
I mean, they're clownish, but I mean, they are a slave race effectively. They're not supposed to be.
And I think according to the lore,
They're not
because
supposed
they
to
have
be a
to
joke,
breathe
yeah.
through that like gas tank, they're like high all the time.
Yeah, I mean, they're not in
wild.
charge of anything. They're used as like fodder.
Little slaves, yeah.
Yeah, they're fodder. I mean, primarily.
What if you took? Oh, dude, here's a. I
The
think
flood. In fact, they're so shitty. The flood won't even infect them.
No, that's not true. The ones that blow up into infection forms are grunts.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure.
They're too tall.
That's because they're like blown up, like at the top.
No, but they have like long legs.
Look at their. No, they don't. They're like stumpy.
Am I crazy?
I would bet. But yeah, those are grunts.
grunt flood form. Googling it now. Oh yeah. No, yeah, the flood definitely have infected them, at least on this dude's DeviantArt page.
Yeah, I don't think that one's legit.
Dude, I feel like this has been in a Halo game.
Yeah, I keep looking it up. It says, yeah, flood carrier form. Those are the ones that blow up into the little infection ones.
Because that thing looks like a jackal, the one that pops. Look how long its legs are. That's no grunt.
How's it look like jackals are just like rail thin?
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, you're
it's got-
crazy.
all right, well,
You're
it
crazy.
doesn't that doesn't translate to a grunt for me, but
Yeah.
maybe I'm wrong.
Well, any closing thoughts on Halo before we get out of here, guys?
Halo Combat Evolved is a legendary but imperfect game, as every game is.
Yeah.
No game, in my opinion, can really be perfect. And even then, perfection in matters of media are subjective anyway.
Yeah.
But still, an exceptional game. If you haven't played it by now, you definitely should. And avoid that avoid that shitty remake at all costs.
Yeah.
If you've played that, you cannot say you've played Combat Evolved. It's fundamentally not the same game.
Yeah. Dude, and I was amazed how well this game holds up. Don't even fuck around with the campaign Evolve. Like, this game holds up really well. Play it in 4K with 60 FPS. It's just like a fun classic game. And it blew my mind that Bungie made PC games for 10 years and they just turned around and fucking cranked out this game in 9 months. Truly a miracle this game was, and it changed gaming forever. It's nuts.
And then we wait a decade for Velgard or some other shit.
Yep. Yeah,
well, the time.
Oops, sorry. Trace, closing thoughts.
Well, they don't make them like this anymore.
Yep.
Unfortunately, it did a lot with a little, in my opinion. I mean, the game is incredible. The AI is incredible. All of this ran on a regular Xbox. Just remember that. And with all the advancements we've had and chip technology and everything, the games aren't much better than this now, from a player experience. So, I mean, you might have, slightly better gunplay and better graphics and whatever, but when you take it in totality, I think this game is about as good as you can expect from anything. So,
yep.
For me, it's it's like a 9.8 out of 10. So,
Yep. Yeah, and guys, just as a note, we're recording this on a Monday night, but regularly Tuesday at 10 p.m. EST, we're going to be doing some kind of a stream every single week on Tuesday. So if you like tuning into us, every single Tuesday, we're either going to be doing a podcast like this about a game, or we're going to be talking about some other random topic. So we're trying to make one episode for you guys every week. And the next game we're going to be talking about is Arkham Asylum 2 weeks from now.
That's my pick.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Trace's pick. And next week, we don't know what we're doing next week, but it'll be something.
And then 2 weeks after Arkham Asylum, we're doing Deadly Premonition. So, which is not a good game, but it is an entertaining game. And I think the story is pretty good.
This is terrible. Let's have some fun with it.
We'll see. Well, I figured like y'all picked Halo and then y'all picked Arkham Asylum, like two incredible games. You got to balance those incredible games with just some like slop,
All right. My next pick is Dustborn.
Oh, dude,
God,
dude,
please don't do this.
dude, Dustborn might be really funny to play though, just to see how dog shit it is.
Press 1 in chat if you want the show to continue, and then press 2 in chat if you want us to play Dustborn, and then kill ourselves immediately.
I won't die. I'll come up with a lot of material for that one, but I won't enjoy a moment of it.
Tom actually has like the collector's edition of Dustborn.
Yeah. Tom is a dirty consumer. He will just buy anything.
Dude, somebody said Rogue Warrior. Rogue Warrior is not a fun game. It's pretty much just a guy like cussing the entire game. All right, boys, we're gonna get out of here. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, everybody.
Always fun.